Hello, hello! Are we live? And is the audio balance okay? I'm going to turn the music down a little bit since we're chatting now. Hello, welcome. How are we all doing today? How are we doing? I see 6 people watching, but only one of you has messaged in chat. Say hi, guys. I'd love to talk to you as I stream. Welcome, Conan Bren. Hello, Livy. Audio's all good. Great. Hopefully the lag is also great, by which I mean minimal to non-existent, because I was test streaming this without actually going live, like off camera, if you will, an hour ago, 30 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, and on both of those 3 times, we were dropping frames big time. It's stopped now, and I think it's just because I've reset the stream key several times. Sometimes you just get like a bad key, and it just kind of like doesn't connect, and I think it might be YouTube, but I'm not really sure. My Wi-Fi, guys, is gone. I have had my mobile data hotspot basically open 24/7 for all my online activities the last few days because, you know, the Wi-Fi's down. A tree fell on the line. They're getting that repaired. So if there are tech issues today, as the pinned message, or should I say previously pinned message says, because I'm going to change that to the notice for newcomers now. As that message said, just do be aware if there are issues with like lag and stuff. I'm very sorry. If the connection issues get really bad, I'm just going to postpone the stream, but hopefully we won't have to do that. You know, hopefully it will just, you know, stay stable. So, let's get into this. Welcome back to Debate Direct, first of all. I may have skipped out on doing Five Nights at Fangame this week. I may have even skipped out on doing Minecraft, but I will not skip out on Debate Direct because we have another fun topic today. As you guys may know, Star Wars has been a growing thing on my channel. I've played Battlefront 2 a couple times, the classic 2005 one, and I did a full series on Republic Commando, as well as a few previous Debate Directs on things like tier listing, ranking, you know, Star Wars movies and TV shows. Well, today, I bring you another one, caricatures and legends. Star Wars is a vast franchise, and spanning its decades of new movies, TV shows, and more, it has accumulated thousands of characters. Today, me and the boys, who I will introduce you to very soon, will be ranking just 150 of them, less. Which Star Wars characters are just two-dimensional caricatures to forget, and which are legends worth remembering for the stories and morals they provided. And that's exactly what's going on here, guys. If I open my display capture, there's the QOTD, charity shoutout, and the like our watch our goal. I'll talk about those more in depth later. Yeah, linked below you're going to see 4 main things. You've got the tier list that we're doing today. As you can see here, it's a Star Wars tier list, which I've actually edited because there are so many characters in this. We want to get through this relatively quickly. The stream shouldn't be more than 2 hours. Should be 1 hour and 1 hour and a half, 90 minutes, you know. So I've, you know, categorized all the characters by where they were introduced. Original trilogy, prequel trilogy, sequel trilogy, Clone Wars, Rebels, Rogue One, Bad Batch, Mandalorian, KOTOR. And sadly, I've left out Solo, Fallen Order, and whatever else because you know, there are some, I haven't, like, played Fallen Order, I haven't seen Solo, so I'm having to exclude those, because I don't really know the characters when I haven't actually checked out the source material. Hopefully, sometime I will actually play Fallen Order, because there was a sale for May 4th recently. There was a sale on Steam, and, if it would load, give it a minute, guys. Let's just say I got myself, some pretty nice bargains in terms of Star Wars games that may or may not end up being stream series if you guys are interested. So, yeah, there's the tier list, and as well as that, we have a Discord link and 2 YouTube channels. While I wait for my Steam to load, I'm just going to introduce the boys who are here with me in chat. Hello, George and Swim. Welcome. You are live. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
So, if you guys don't know, these are 2 new friends I've made, thanks to the Shrine of Ambience server. Ignore this. But, yeah, the, you know, Shrine of Ambience is obviously, like, the go-to place for the FNAF fandom in my eyes these days, and it's where I've been most active. And, yeah, you know, these guys have their own servers as well and stuff. They've done a lot of FNAF things, and hopefully we'll collaborate again in future for FNAF. But today we're talking Star Wars. So, let's go in alphabetical order. George, tell us about yourself. What's this YouTube channel link below? How are you today?
I'm doing good. Only got 5 hours of sleep because I just decided to wake up randomly.
That's rough, I get it.
And I just didn't bother trying to go back to sleep.
Oh, I've been there. I've been there.
Pretty awake right now.
Yeah. Well, 2 coffees usually fixes me up. I've been relying on like 2 coffees a day lately. I usually do try and go back to sleep because I always oversleep rather than undersleep. I'm not sure which is worse, to be honest. It's like, would you rather be too hot or too cold, you know? Like, potato. I don't know what I'm saying.
My sleep schedule is actually consistent. I don't know why.
Right? Like, you just get into a rhythm and then it falls apart one night because you stay up too late. Like, for real, bro.
Oh, yeah. Also,
bro, that's crazy. That is insane. Flabbergasted.
Insane flabbergasted.
But yeah, guys, go subscribe to George if you haven't already. I haven't watched enough of your videos, but you do no commentary Five Nights at Freddy's fan games, and a lot of challenges as well. You've beaten a lot of max modes here. It's quite impressive. So, definitely look out for that, guys.
Actually, a few of them I do a little commentary at the end, and like, with the FNAF 3 one, or like...
But there you go. I need to watch your videos.
Most recent video.
I've watched like one of your
videos.
videos.
You can listen to my FNAF 3 one, and it sounds like I'm fucking bass boosted.
Bass boosted. Bass.
It sounds so weird.
I pronounce it bass boosted. Bass boosted. I don't know what's funny.
I just like to pronounce
You're American, right? Like, that's just your accent.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting. It's a linguistic thing. Anyways, I know, I'm sorry to leave you out, Swim. Let's give Swim some time to shine now. So, George, is a good friend, fellow FNAF of mine, but Swim is both of those things and the owner of the Jedi Temple. But first, Swim, tell us a bit about yourself, your YouTube channel, what is this, and how are you today?
Hello, I'm Swim, and I do professional, well, not professional, but pro FNAF stuff on my channel.
I mean, if you monetize your YouTube channel, which, you know, could happen if you guys go subscribe, could happen, could make it professional. Pro is not the same as professional, is it? But yeah, you can see his videos here. Look at this! This guy, he's got like halfway through 50-20 no death coin. He's on his way to beating that. He's green run 50-20 with 27% power remaining. 27%! You can see like a whole bunch of challenges here. Green runs and speed runs. It's very cool. Dude, that is actually really impressive. I knew you were like a pro, but like this is like tactic crew level, you know? Like holy shit. But yeah, guys, if you want to see some pro, no commentary FNAF content, very similar to True Player. I mean, you guys are good friends. Go check them out.
Yes.
Yeah, and is the audio balance okay? Can you guys hear these two? Is the music too loud or anything? Do let me know. I've just been using that intro as a way to test that. I'm just going to catch up with chat for a minute, and we'll get straight into this.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious on how I sound, because, like, on my OBS, I sound like I'm fucking bass boosted by 10 times.
Boosted. Shocking, Matthew. Finn is easily top tier. Conan's already launching into the ranking. Finn is easily top tier. His character development is phenomenal. No one else comes close to being better than him. Should be obvious, though, seeing as the sequels are the best Star Wars movies.
Rank Luke Skywalker.
I can't tell if he's being ironic or not. Platy, that's awesome. You got a bike lock.
Yo, Salmonate's
Hello, XYZW Extreme. Hello, Salmonate wants debate direct. Read the title, look at the thumbnail, maybe the description. What am I supposed to say? Look, use your eyes. I knew you were being sarcastic. Oh, and Conan was being sarcastic as well. Well, great. Livy as well. Welcome. So, welcome all. If the audio balance, let me just actually check the audio balance myself. 1 second. I know you guys can't hear what I'm hearing, but I just need to pause the music for a second. Let me just actually
1 moment,
guys. Myself. 1 second. Hold on. Could happen if you guys go subscribe. I'm sorry to leave you out.
I'm fucking bass boosted. Yeah.
I've watched like one of. Yeah, and is the audio I mean, you guys are good friends.
Fucking bass.
No death call. Pro, how are you today?
Hello, I'm Swim, and I do professional, well, not professional
channel, which, you know, could. Okay, alright. Just making sure. Let me just set on my audio.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are both pretty quiet, but, like, that's just because of, like, your voices or your mics. I can easily amend that by turning the music down and the desktop audio up a smidge. There we go. Alright, let's get on with this. So, today, guys, we are doing a Star Wars tier list because Swim, with George and I as two of his, like, moderators, actually has a Discord server. This is the other thing linked below. It's a Star Wars Discord server called the Jedi Temple. You can see we've got a bunch of channels for a whole bunch of topics here. It's very cool. In fact, yeah, we are, he's a Grandmaster. We are just Jedi Masters. I'm Master Kenobi. Yes. I'm going to change my name to match, I'm going to say Obi-Wan because,
Obi-Wan is based.
George is Luke. Yeah, you're Luke Skywalker and I'm Obi-Wan. This is very epic. This is based. Hello there. Oh man.
Where's Anakin though?
Oh, Kenobi.
We need Anakin. Yeah, we need a Jedi. We need a Jedi Knight. Could Zach be Anakin maybe? You know.
How does Zach need to be Anakin?
Yeah, we need an Anakin. But anyway, so they introduced me to this tier list. Also, guys, just the thing I mentioned about Steam earlier, look at these Star Wars games that I got on a sale, which I may or may not stream if you guys are interested. I'm just pointing that out. Let's get on with the tier list.
Yo.
Ayo. So yeah, we got a big old tier list here. And I'm just going to catch up with chat, and then we can get straight into this. And we're just going to go through basically each kind of part of the franchise in order. So original trilogy, prequel, sequel, and you like bit by bit. So if there's like a thing that, you know, you haven't watched or you haven't seen, you can just kind of leave it out. Like the other two, your guys' lists don't match mine. Like some of you haven't seen Rogue One, some of you have seen Solo, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like most of mine, I haven't seen basically most of the Clone Wars and all of Rebels.
I haven't seen Mandalorian or Book of Boba and all that.
Man, yeah, you guys, I will say you guys are missing out. Do check them out. They're not perfect, but like, Clone Wars Season 7, Mandalorian Season 1, Book of Boba!
Season 7.
Little hit miss, actually. But yeah, holy shit, he's got Fallen Order. Yes, I do. And like, I'm contemplating doing a live series for Fallen Order, so I'm gonna release a poll about that soon, because if you guys want to see it streamed, I'm gonna hold off on playing it, because I want to savor the experience. But I'm doing so many streams, you know, scheduling. Let's get on with this. So, to begin with, boys, if you guys, one last thing, if you guys want to do the tier list for yourself, feel free to go onto the Hydration Nation and maybe post in, I don't know, discussion one or wherever, just like with like a hashtag, or maybe ping me, I don't know. Just feel free to like post your own tier lists, if you want to share yours as well. All right, let's get on with this. So, I should have jumped into frame and said hello there. Ah, missed opportunity. I'll do that next time. All right, let's do this. So, original trilogy. The order's going to be a bit random. I don't know how or why they are in this order. So, we're starting off with Bib Fortuna.
You see, this guy is actually the most well-written character in the original trilogy. He's totally an S tier.
E-based. I'll put him in meh.
What do we think? Yeah, Bib Fortuna, I think he's good. Like, he's not really intended to be, you know, an important character. He's just secondary, tertiary. He's like Jabba's assistant, right? But he's got that kind of sly, like, mafia gang kind of attitude. And I think his appearance in Book of Boba was pretty interesting. There's not really a lot to him. But I don't think there needs to be more to him. Again, there's probably tons of, like, Legends material, comic books from novelizations over the years, which have enhanced these characters, but, like, we're just judging based on what we know. And, like, all I know from him is Return of the Jedi, I think he might have been the others, and Book of Boba, so, which was, like, a cameo.
Yeah.
So,
good. For me, he's just meh. I mean, he doesn't do much of anything in the Return of the Jedi, and that's the only appearance I know of.
Boys, because there's so many characters, unlike my other debate directs, which I don't know if you've seen, because this is the first time these two have both collabed with me, although Swim made a cameo in a FNAF 4 Hydrated Highlights, which we can talk about later. But, unless we disagree, I'm not going to spend time on these characters, we're just going to zoom through them. So if we all agree, let's just get on with it. So, okay, Boba Fett, here we go, there's probably a lot more to talk about here. What do we think of Boba Fett?
Okay, so I'd say he's like basing it off of the original trilogy. Probably a meh. I mean, he's pretty menacing in the Empire Strikes Back, but he's just made an absolute fool of in the Return of the Jedi, and that's basically it.
Well, I have watched Book of Boba, which changes things a bit. I'm gonna put him in amazing. Swim, what do you think?
Ooh.
I'll either put him in amazing or legendary, because in the Book of Boba, he has a good role. He's a good character.
BD1 is in here, Platty, but again, I haven't played Fallen Order, so I'm not including him. But yeah, Fallen Order characters are here. They've even got some characters from Knights of the Old Republic, and if you've played those games, you get, like, the Veterans Pass. Or if you've even know more about Revan from, like, comic books or whatever, because I'm not really that familiar with the Star Wars lore, like, I'm not super deep into it, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I will say this, Boba Fett in the original trilogy had, like, 4 lines. He was just kind of this menacing, silent but deadly, you know, bounty hunter working for Jabba, and, like, you know, I think he was alright. Again, like Bib, but he was just a secondary character who was just kind of there for plot reasons, but I thought little things like them really help do the world building for Star Wars, which I think is super important considering there's so much info that needs to be established for the plot to make sense and, like, context needed.
Yeah.
I think if it hadn't been for the
original trilogy is he's kind of just there vibing. He just exists.
He just exists, but, like, he's only got, like, a singular motive, you know, like in Empire, you know, he's trying to, like, capture Han because he wants the bounty, and they've got this whole, like, you know, dynamic going on, but, like, I think it works. I think it's good. I think Book of Boba is hit and miss, because some people really don't like what they did with this character. I won't spoil it. But, like, he's a lot more developed, but he has a lot of qualities that people might not like, and while I think the actor, and I will say this for every character, all of the actors are, like, A-list now. They're all brilliant. I actually thought Tamir Morrison did a fantastic job with him. I just had issues with, like, the plot of Book of Boba rather than, you know, his character. So I'm actually going to give him Legendary, because I think Book of Boba really gave him nuance, and we got to see him develop from, a ruthless killing machine into, you know, like a man of honor and, like, an actual, like, leader rather than, you know, someone who's just, you know, laying low, just trying to get on by. It really gave him better motivations, I think. So I'm going to give him Legendary. If we're ready, we'll just move on to the next one. I don't want to talk over you guys too much, but if we're good,
okay.
that's all we're going to say. Because
Bosk?
Boba's a big deal. Yeah, Bosk. Bosk is next.
Bosk, he exists again. He don't really say much else.
I would say meh.
Yeah,
I just think he just kind of exists.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really... He's kind of like what Boba Fett was in the original trilogy alone, but without, you know, any lines or any kind of presence. Like, he's just kind of another bounty hunter, so I don't really know what to say about him. Another stories, and he appears in Clone Wars, he appears in, like, comic books, which flesh him out a bit more, but he's still... You know, there's a lot of similar characters to him regardless, so I don't know. He's never stuck out to me.
Yeah, now that I think about it, a lot of these characters just exist. Like,
again,
they're just there
in their original appearances, a lot of them just exist for world building, right? And then they got fleshed out later on in, like, additional material. But, like, how much we judge by that additional material is gonna affect the ranking significantly, I think. So, to any Star Wars fans who have, like, any nerds who've read all the material and thought, no, Matt, Bosk is a legend, he had this amazing character arc in this one thing. I haven't seen it, I'm sorry. But, you know, that's fine. Again, this tier list is not like a end-all be-all, guys. I might actually come back to this with different people or more people when I've, like, seen and played everything. So, C-3PO's next, if you want to move on.
Legendary.
Now, yeah, I think C-3PO is legendary. What do we think?
For me, he's GOAT. He's GOAT.
Really? He's been the GOAT category. Remember, guys, we got, like, it's basically
for actual
S-A-B-C-D-E. Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of positive categories here. Like, GOAT is basically, like, S+, or double S. It's like, you've got, like, E, F, D, C, B, A, S, and then, like, GOAT is, like, for the best of the best. It takes a lot to get in the GOAT category. But I would put 3PO in Legendary just because he's been pretty consistent across all his appearances, which are many. And he established himself as a fantastic comic relief and foil to R2 and a lot of the other characters, I think. You know, he's the kind of, the one character who's, like, you know, aware of how absurd the whole situation is. He's so grounded and so hilariously, like, you know, pernickety and, like, stubborn and, you know, like, he's rude, but he's also really likable. And I think that's a really, like, difficult thing to strike a balance in, you know? He's iconic.
Yeah.
Staple of the franchise.
Alright, Chewie.
I'm hesitant to put anything in GOAT, which is why I'm leaving that. Chewie is next. What do you think of Chewie?
Chewie for me is GOAT. Definitely GOAT.
You know what? I actually am tempted to put him in GOAT. I'm going to leave everyone in Legendary for now, but I'm going to decide GOAT at the end, because, again, one of the OG characters, Chewie is like,
He's been through it all.
Yeah, he's seen everything. Like, he was there in the Clone Wars on Kashyyyk. We saw him in Revenge of the Sith. You know, he met Han. I haven't seen Solo, but I know, obviously, he and Han have this amazing dynamic, like, almost like an old married couple dynamic. They're just bros being bros in space.
It's so weird how they're able to make such a good dynamic out of characters that speak entirely different languages. Right?
Because, like, he just speaks in, like, growls and grunts to us. Like, he has a different language. But, you know, in all of his appearances, like, you know, the various people who've helped create this character, the actors, you know, animators, writers, directors, everything, you know, they've crafted Chewie into this just very simple, lovable, you know, like, big, furry, you know, beast warrior of a character. He's just really likable, and you can tell that he's, like, kind of, misunderstood, and he has, like, he seems brutal, but he's also got, he's a big softy on the inside, is what I'm saying. He's got some really nice relationships with the characters, and, you know, there's nothing I dislike about Chewie. There's nothing. He's awesome.
Yeah, like, how can you dislike Chewie? How?
Right? Like, I understand if you don't put him in legendary, but I think he's worthy. And yeah, Yoda, well, yeah, Chewie helped Yoda escape Order 66, you know,
that too.
he helped Luke throughout the original trilogy, you know, Han, Leia with their mission, yeah. And I think he made an appearance in Clone Wars as well, briefly. I think Ahsoka met him, I can't remember, it's been a while, but, like, everyone was in Clone Wars, you know, everyone they could fit in cameoed in some way, like, one episode, if they, at a minimum, if that's all you guys got to say, we'll move on to Darth Vader.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I have to give Vader go. I have to.
I'm
Really?
joking.
Oh, yeah, man, terrible tier, for sure.
I was like, what? We have to give him... I think I have to give him go. I can't, because Anakin/Vader is, like, the definitive Star Wars character.
Yeah.
Like, the whole story is about him. It's his story.
Yeah, no, up until The Rise of Skywalker.
Fuck off with the sequel trilogy.
And they
no one
ruined
cares.
it.
Yeah. It's the sequel trilogy is the security breach of Star Wars. It's the Doctor Who, like, you know, Chibnall era of, you know,
I
Star Wars.
honestly restrict that more to The Rise of Skywalker than the other two movies. Like, the other two movies, I guess, are okay.
Fair enough.
I like The Force Awakens a lot. I don't like The Last Jedi at all.
I'm gonna talk more about this when we get to the sequel trilogy, but yeah. All I'll say is that factually, this trilogy was unplanned, and unlike the other two, did not have consistent directional vision, and that made it fall apart. Whereas with the other two, for all their flaws, those trilogies, you know, were consistent, because George Lucas, you know, had a plan, and he followed through, and he made sure everything was in line.
My biggest issue with that trilogy is none of the movies feel connected. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Like, Force Awakens feels so disconnected from the other two movies.
Yeah, it's like the old ones in a way.
They tried so hard to, like, make it in the vision of the original trilogy, yet it doesn't feel like it at all.
It's got no connection to the prequels. It should have, like, balanced that and had a lot of tie-ins with both, but we're gonna move on, guys. I'm not gonna talk about this now. So,
yeah.
I don't think this needs explanation. Yep, exactly, Conan. But, Vader. Vader is one of the most complex, nuanced, and interesting characters in all of Star Wars. Same with Anakin, because it's just Anakin, but at a different point in time. You know, he's... Well, I mean, there's a lot going on with him, isn't he? He's simultaneously Dark Lord of the Sith, you know, ironclad kind of evil ruler of the Empire, you know, alongside Palpatine, but also a very, you know, disheveled, weak, and, like, kind of pitifully vulnerable man who has, like, lost everything. And his dynamic, as he changes, especially in the original trilogy, the way he, you know, all of his interactions with Luke, you know, in episode 1, you know, kind of just, like, discovering that, like, you know, there's a son of Skywalker in, episode 4, in episode 5, you know, I am your father, and then episode 6, his actual, like, redemption arc, it was just beautiful. It was like a proper Greek kind of, like, tragedy or fable or, like, ancient story.
Yeah, there's nothing I can really add on to that. You basically hit it right on the head.
Yeah, for me, he's in GOAT and above Chewie, definitely.
He's just got a lot of good moments as well. Like, that screenshot is from Rogue One. Great appearance. You know, he appeared in Rebels. He's appeared in pretty much everything except, obviously. Well, no, he has appeared in Clone Wars. Technically, he has appeared in Clone Wars. Very briefly. But that's a whole different thing. So yeah, Palpatine's next. If you guys are ready to move on. Palpatine.
I'd say it's GOAT or legendary.
I'd say legendary. I don't like him as much as the other Sith, like Count Dooku, Darth Vader, but he's good.
Fair enough. I would give him GOAT, honestly. I think Palpatine is, again, like, really interesting. But, like, what do you guys think? Like, what's your take on Palpatine? Why would you put him legendary?
I honestly love Palpatine just because he's the ultimate manipulator. Like, he can do basically anything with your mind and destroy you if you try to, like, do anything about it.
But I'll put him in legendary because Chancellor Palpatine's character is overall, in my opinion, better.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Is he actually... Oh, he's actually on here separately. So remember, guys, we're only looking at him in the original trilogy, not the prequels, because that's like a separate thing. Yeah, I mean,
What's the problem
okay.
with, and the problem with him in the sequel, original trilogy is he's only really in one film. Yeah, he has an appearance in Empire Strikes Back, but that's about for 30 seconds.
Whenever I think of Palpatine, I think of the appearance of original trilogy, but I think of the prequel Palpatine rather than the
as a
original
character.
trilogy.
Well, here's the thing. The way it seems to me is that actually, I'm gonna put OT Palpatine in Legendary because he's a great villain. I like the build-up because he's mentioned once in Episode 4. We get like one small conversation between him and Vader in 5, and it's only him as a hologram. And then it's only finally in 6 that we actually get to see him in the flesh. And it's like he's really built up to as this huge, big bad. And like, he's kind of a two-dimensional villain, I guess. He's like evil because he's a Sith for the sake of it, and that's kind of lame. But, you do see his master manipulator, like, in action. And you do see, his power, and he has some great dialogue. Ian McDiarmid is a fantastic actor, but I think prequel Palpatine is by far is even better. He's definitely going to the GOAT category, and I'll explain why when we get to it. So yeah, I think that distinction is important. Gonk Droid is next.
Yes,
Gonk.
that's the best tier.
It's clear.
GOAT, no explanation needed.
Not even, S tier. Literally self-explanatory. So.
Literally no information needed, just gonk. All we have to do is gonk, gonk, gonk. Come on with me, boys. Gonk, gonk, gonk.
Alright. It's gonna be the rest of the stream now.
just like periods of silence, just interrupted by gonk,
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 gonk.
Alright, Tarkin. Admiral Tarkin. Now, this guy's played by Peter Cushing, who was also a different version of Doctor Who, which is pretty cool. Great actor.
He's a good tier.
Yeah.
He's nothing special or anything, but he's very menacing.
His role in Episode 4 and kind of Rogue One is good, but he was only really
Tarkin was in Rogue One, to be honest.
I'm gonna give him amazing because his appearance in the original trilogy was good. He was just kind of a default kind of, Germany during World War II kind of officer. I can't say it because, YouTube. But, he very, stern, menacing, uptight. Let's say British colonial, actually, I think would be even more accurate than, Nazi, kind of character, senior officer, very kind of proper and stiff. I like his, because he only appears in New Hope. He dies when the Death Star blows up, but I love how skeptical he is of Vader and the Sith and the Force, and how, he's a pretty good villain. But I think the thing that really enhances him is his appearance in Clone Wars. He was in Rogue One, which was brilliant. They CGI'd him, which was pretty impressive. And he's just this great kind of menacing leader, because he actually outranks Vader. He's actually higher ranked than Vader. He's basically next to Palpatine. Krennic, I think, was actually higher ranked, but we know what happened to him if you watched Rogue One. And but his appearance in Clone Wars really expanded on him, because we see a younger Tarkin during the Clone Wars interacting with Anakin, and it's fascinating because you can already see how closely dude, enjoy it. I won't spoil how, when, and where, but you get to see him interact with Anakin and how exactly their ideals actually align more than you would think, even that early on. It kind of shows. His role in that episode was amazing anyway. I just like how, he kind of represents this, cynical, military-industrial complex kind of anti-religious kind of suspicion of the Jedi. That's grounded in a lot of real history, actually. But as a character, he's not legendary, but I'd give Tarkin a high rank, because I just think he has some fantastic dialogue, and then,
I really need to revisit Clone Wars. I completely forgot he was in that.
I need to watch the rest of it.
Clone Wars is the best thing Star Wars has ever produced, especially the later seasons.
For sure.
Seasons 3 to 7 are literally the golden era. Watch it all. I beg you. Please, I beg of you. Anyway. Gonk. Yeah, I don't know if was Tarkin in Rebels? I think he might have been, but it wasn't as memorable. I don't remember. But yeah, if we're ready, Greedo is next.
I forgot Greedo's name.
Yeah, he's a background bounty hunter character. I'm giving him meh. I have absolutely no memory of anything about his personality other than he's the guy that shot first or didn't shoot first or whatever.
There's actually a deleted scene from The Phantom Menace of Greedo where basically after Anakin wins the pod race, he fights with him.
Wait, what?
Yeah, young Greedo fights with Anakin. Yeah, there's a deleted scene with like a child Greedo on Tatooine with Anakin, which is pretty funny. Yeah, Greedo's just completely lackluster. I might even put him in terrible, to be honest. I'm not sure. He's just kind of meh. I wouldn't say terrible. He's just meh. All right, here we go. Han Solo.
You know where this guy
goes. The man himself.
What do we think?
Go,
yeah.
I'm going to be controversial here, and I'm going to say good. Just about, because I actually don't think he's that great a character. In fact, I'm almost tempted to put him in meh, but I don't think that's quite right. Why do you guys think he's a goat? What makes him such a goat, huh?
Right, for one, he's one of the original characters of the lineup. It's Harrison Ford.
It's Harrison fucking Ford. Harrison Ford is legendary. This is not a critic of Harrison Ford, but yeah, what makes him a goated character though? You know, like why is he so good?
I love his dynamic with the other trilogy characters.
Okay, fair, yeah.
I think his character development, Return of the Jedi, was good, but not Empire Strikes Back. He didn't really change. Well,
that's the core of the problem, right? Some characters are great because they don't evolve. Tarkin doesn't need a character arc because he represents a more wider symbolic thing. And he's also one of the bad guys, okay? You know, the fact that he doesn't evolve is, you know, why he doesn't, like, redeem himself, whatever, you know, is, like, you know, a cornerstone of his character. Han Solo is one of the original heroes of the trilogy, and he has basically no character development. He's actually such a disappointment from a storytelling point of view, and here's why, okay? Episode 4. He's just kind of like a, you know, rogue cowboy kind of character. That's cool. That's nice. It's fine. His romance with Leia is really forced. It is so poorly written. It's not... I'm not sure if it's worse than Anakin and Padme in Episode 2. I don't know why George really struggles with romance, but... Looking at Episode 5, their interactions are so cringy. It's like he's coming onto her without her consent, and it really rubs me the wrong way. It doesn't feel... It feels like... I mean... This was produced in the 80s. It feels like a man taking a trophy woman because that's one of, like, the boxes to check for a wider audience. It just kind of feels wrong. The romance feels very forced. And Han Solo at the end of Episode 5 is pretty much the exact same as he was at the start of Episode 4. Like, he's just this kind of selfish, arrogant, you know, badass, you know, gunslinger, you know, in space. He does not evolve or change whatsoever. And in Return of the Jedi, he evolves slightly. He becomes a bit more selfless by, you know, actually throwing himself into the rebellion rather than just trying to stay neutral and uncaring. And the romance with Leia is a little less forced, but it's really not enough. It feels like too little, too late. Yeah, and that's why I don't really like Han Solo. And also, Harrison Ford doesn't like Han Solo, so I think that's kind of important because... You know, he hates Han Solo. He tried to have him killed off in Episode 5, but George brought him back for 6 because he wanted to follow up on that. He didn't want to come back for the sequels, so he basically agreed in the contract to have himself killed off in Episode 7. He still came back in Episode 9 because the fans demanded it, the, you know, producers demanded it. Harrison Ford despises Han Solo. He hates him. He's tried to have him killed off so many times.
Indiana Jones is better.
Yeah, and I don't know about Solo. I haven't seen that. Maybe that enhances his character. Maybe I could give him great, but really, I can't. I just can't. He's not that good.
I think my mind went on autopilot as soon as I saw original trilogy character and just said go.
Well, no, that's fair. That's fair. I can understand why, because I would say that about almost every single other one, but I'm really trying to think critically here. I did watch the original 6 movies recently, and, you know, I did watch, I guess, a couple other things semi-recently. I've got a good memory of Clone Wars and Bad Batch, so that's fine. I'm the same. Like, I'm just trying to be, like, critical here, but, yeah. Any arguments you want to make to counter what I've said, though? You know, there may be something I'm not thinking about. Maybe
not
something...
really. I mean, I think I have to revisit Return of the Jedi, because I haven't returned to it in, like, a while.
Return of the Jedi is my favorite of the original trilogy.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, my favorite is Empire Strikes Back.
That's fair. A lot of people... I think Empire is overrated and Return is underrated. Like, a lot of people will say Jedi was, like, lackluster and Strikes Back was this, like... untouchable masterpiece, but actually, out of the original 3, and I talked about this in my previous tier list stream, I feel like Empire Strikes Back is the weakest, not by a big margin, but just because pacing, bad romance, you know, and just a few awkward kind of, like, bits. Like, it's too long, there's a lot of stuff that could have been cut, and, you know, again, does nothing for Han, and little for Leia.
Yeah. Well, I guess we may as well get on to Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt, boys!
Yeah.
Auto S tier, totally.
Oh yeah, he's a goat. Okay, I actually think Jabba's amazing. I'm not going to give him legendary, but I'm going to give him amazing. I think, again, he is a caricature to serve the plot in a specific spot, and he does that very, very well. And that's all he needs to be. He's a simple character, but it's all he needs to be, and he does that well.
All I think of when I see Jabba the Hutt is that he's a potato chip in my couch. Just that one potato chip on my couch.
He's just this fat, ugly sloth, like, crime boss. Again, the thing that separates characters into legendary and GOAT for me is nuance and complexity and development. If a character is just kind of, like, there to serve the plot and be a caricature, the best they can do is amazing. But as with Tarkin, Jabba does that brilliantly. You know, so, yeah. That's all I gotta say. Lando Calrissian's next.
Lando.
What do we think of Lando? I'm trying. Man, I don't actually remember much about Lando.
Legendary.
Probably
really
great or somewhere along those lines.
I'll put him in...
You know what? I'm gonna give him great. I think he's basically Han Solo, but better.
Yeah.
Because instead of having this awkward forced romance, he's, like, deliberately designed to be this very suave and, you know, self-assured, you know, flamboyant man. So, like, when he makes moves on Leia, it's deliberately to show he's a bit, a bit of a womanizer, or, like, he thinks he is, but, you know, obviously Leia rejects his advance, which is great. But also, he genuinely evolves into a more selfless and noble character in Return of the Jedi by, you know, aiding with the rebellion and actually, like, leading the charge, you know, in the final battle above Endor. So, like, he's Han Solo, but better in my eyes. Not amazing, but definitely great.
Yeah, I don't think he's anything, like, legendary or amazing, but he's still pretty goddamn good.
That's what
I'll put him in amazing, because, like, I can't put him on levels of Palpatine, but he's better than Jabba, definitely.
Dude, we are 40 minutes in, and we haven't even done the original trilogy yet, guys. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to speed through this. Unless you want to just sit back and do a 2-hour stream. We can probably go through a lot of the later ones more quickly. We're taking time with the important characters from, like, the original trilogy, because this is where everything started, so... We're gonna have to take our time with this one. Luke Skywalker is next.
Definitely go to. He's my favourite character in the series.
He's Luke Skywalker, the discussion over?
Yeah, discussion over.
Yeah.
The way it seems to me, like Han, I feel like his character didn't develop enough in Empire Strikes Back, but it's kind of like, it's slow at first, but maybe that's the point, because, like, it starts with that training, and then there's a big moment at the end with Vader, so actually, yeah, his character arc's pretty nicely paced across. In Episode 4, he's just kind of, like, you know, young, kind of naive, you know,
farmer boy.
Yeah, farmer boy, and he just gets, you know, thrust away into this amazing adventure because of, like, you know, sins of the father, legacy, all that, and, you know, he's got, like, the mentor character, Obi-Wan, he's got, like, you know, the, you know, sidekick Han, you know, Leia was weirdly a love interest. They kissed in Episode 5, and it was revealed that they were siblings in the next one. I don't know what was up with that.
When I first saw that scene, I was just, what, George, what were you thinking?
Hold up, wait a minute. 7 ain't right. But no, Luke is legendary, and I
moment.
think
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi really cements it, because after, you know, his journey, training, and actually taking time to become a Jedi Knight rather than like a Padawan, you know, there's nothing, it's obviously not formally said because like the Jedi Order is extinct at this point, but he has some great interactions with Obi-Wan, Yoda, Vader, of course, and of course his drive to confront Vader and turn him in episode 6. He has this singular, consistent motivation that pushes every decision he makes in episode 6, and it makes such a good character. His conversation with Leia, you know, where they realize like she's his sister, you know, his confrontation with Vader on Endor, where he's like, I know there is still good in you. It is beautiful. It is magnificent. And when like he's manipulated by Palpatine and gives into his anger for a moment on the Death Star when he's dueling Vader, he realizes what he's done, and then he like, you know, does the truly, you know, good thing and refuses. And yeah, it just helps, you know, is the catalyst for Vader's redemption. It's just beautiful. The execution is absolutely immaculate, and Luke hasn't really been ruined, in my opinion, since then, even, you know, with his other appearances. Like, he's still pretty awesome. Oh, okay, yeah, forgot about that. Sorry, the sequel trilogy's so bad, I've just, like, erased it from my mind. He's unrecognizable as the same character. That's what Mark Hamill himself said.
A bit off topic from the original trilogy, but
he's separate.
Luke,
he's separate now.
Sometimes he's actually genuinely Luke. Sometimes he's a sarcastic super jerk. Like what?
Yeah, no, we're ignoring him. This is original trilogy Luke only.
Yes.
I keep purging the sequels from my mind. I've only seen them once, and like, I kind of had a meh opinion of them rather than I hate this, because it was just a first video. I didn't know what to think, but since then, it's become evident to me that they suck, so I've never seen a reason to rewatch them. But yeah, no, Old Man Luke, when the actor himself, who has played the character for decades, says that he didn't recognize this person as the character, there is a problem. Like, I don't even need to make an argument. Mark Hamill did not like sequel Luke.
The thing is with old Luke is sometimes he actually has genuine scenes, like the scene with R2 or the scene with Leia. And then he has the scene where he throws his lightsaber off a building and calls a lightsaber a laser sword.
Yeah, it's like, it's completely ridiculous. It goes against everything that his character was founded to be in the originals, and character a lot of like comic books and stuff and legends over the late 20th century. Like, decades of work has been pushed aside by Disney for the sequel garbage. But we also have the Filoniverse. We have, where has Luke appeared in Rebels? Mandalorian, Book of Boba. He appeared in something.
Did he appear in Rebels?
He appeared in something. I can't remember, but he's made some appearances since the OT. Very few compared to a lot of other characters though, because they're like handling him with care after the sequel trilogy. I think he's like barely cameoed, but his characters I think are more consistent there. And just responding to Livy in chat, we've got some interesting discussion here. You're right, Lando actually sold out Luke, Han, and his gang to the Empire because, you know, he was basically being blackmailed. Boba and Vader were, like, you know, threatening him because his operation was technically illegal, the, like, mining thing on Bespin. But, like, Lando ultimately does the right thing despite the threat of the Empire looming over him, and he stands up to them and he, like, helps them out. So, yeah, again, he's a better Han Solo. Might even put him in Amazing, I don't know.
Time for 9 Numb. Yes, I know this character's name.
I forgot his name, so thank you for that, because I dead-ass forgot. We've talked plenty about Luke.
So.
Yeah, 9 Numb, I only know him because of the EA Battlefront games, and they included him for some reason.
All I remember is that he's the guy, he's Lando's co-pilot in Endor.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He's the guy who sits next to him, or something, so I'm putting him in meh, I don't know anything about him. He just kind of exists.
Yeah, he's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, it just exists.
His
design looks weird, but also kind of good at the same time.
It's a good, realistic alien design. I like it. It's freaky. Guys, look who's next.
Anyway.
Hello there.
It's Obi-Wan in a discussion.
Look, I'm going to offend one of you, but I'm only going to put him in Legendary.
How dare you! Oh my goodness!
How dare you have an opinion? How dare you?
Well, hear him out.
Because prequel Obi-Wan is just far superior.
Yeah, fair enough. I would put them both in GOAT, to be honest. I actually think even in the OT alone, he's worthy of GOAT, but Legendary or GOAT, it's a small difference. We all love him. He's just a great mentor figure. You know, you can tell he's got this kind of pathos, this troubled past, and this drive to help Luke, you know, become the savior of the galaxy and restore balance in the Force and all that crap. And his confrontation with Vader is just, it's beautiful. The dueling was crap. The sword fighting was crap in episode 4. But it was still really good, and I love the little dog they have.
Yeah.
Only a master of evil.
Droid above Obi-Wan.
But yeah, fair enough.
Droid is superior.
Leia. What do we think of Leia?
I'd say it's either great or good. Probably
Really?
great or good.
Why one of those? Why those? Why those?
I mean, I remember her, like, you know, she serves a purpose, but I don't remember much, like, important from her. I don't remember any, like, much development at all. As obviously the love is kind of forced with Han. Like, it's an OG character, so I can't really, like, put it like, man, bad. Like,
I don't want to be
fine.
I don't want to be like an SJW, but it was the 70s and 80s, and George Lucas was, you know,
oh yeah,
non-queer, man who, I don't think he can write women very well, is what I'm trying to say. I don't want to sound like an SJW, but like I don't think he can write women very well. However,
yeah.
Carrie Fisher is legendary, and for that reason I think I have to give Leia legendary, because additional content aside, it's a stream freezing for you guys. Hold on. Is it? It looks fine to me.
Yeah,
if the stream's freezing for everyone else, then we have a problem. If it's just Con and Bren, it's just you, mate. But it looks fine to me, so I'm going to keep going. I was just say, Leia, she actually doesn't change much over the course of the trilogy, I think. I feel like she actually doesn't evolve much, but I don't think that's a detriment to her character. I think she's one of those characters where her consistency...
Like she doesn't need to. Yeah,
she doesn't need to. Her consistency in this scenario actually works in her favor, because Leia is just strong. Like, that is her defining trait. She is just a strong woman. Like, seriously, a good, strong female character. She's, a leader, she's a princess, but she's also, a hands-on, fighter who will do things herself and hates being, like, pushed to the side by men and being, like, mansplained, basically, because that happens multiple times. And, like, she will actually, get her hands dirty and do things herself despite her wealthy, upbringing. She stands up to Vader, and, like,
oh yeah,
in no one else, in, like, her introduction in episode 4, she spits in Vader's face, basically. And it's like few in the entire galaxy of the balls to do that. Romance aside, I think her dynamic with Luke was alright. I thought, I like her dynamics with 3PO and R2. Leia is, that little moment in episode 5 where she kind of senses Luke's in danger through the Force was amazing, because it's like, oh, she's Force sensitive, and it's like very subtle, and it doesn't manifest till later, but lots of small details like that I love. She has a few great quotes as well, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but,
I should have written down notes for this, because, like, whenever I start talking about a character, I just forget everything about them.
Dude, I know what you mean. What I'm doing in my mind is visualizing all of the moments with Leia that I'm remembering.
Yeah.
So just try and remember, like, the actual movies themselves and, like, the actual plot and stuff and the screenplay that played out.
But yeah, I was about to get to that. Her character's really likable. I liked her dynamics.
Yeah.
She was consistent. Carrie Fisher was also, as you mentioned, really good.
So this is actually disproving what I was saying earlier. You can have a character who doesn't really develop and still be great for certain qualities. I don't know. I really like Leia. She's awesome. She's like... not GOAT, but definitely legendary. I would say worthy of legendary. So if you guys don't have anything else to say...
yeah.
Swim.
R2.
George keeps going first. I want to hear your opinion. What do you think of R2? Sorry,
R2, I'm going to put him in legendary.
Ooh,
below
really? Okay.
C3PO. I think C3PO is better.
Okay. Why is C3PO better? Like, what about R2?
C3PO is just more likable. Plus the voice lines help more.
Well, yeah, R2 speaks in boops and beeps. Can we just mention how, out of all the characters in all of Star Wars, R2 has seen the most. He's basically everywhere. He has appeared in all of the movies. He has appeared in Clone Wars. He has appeared in Rebels. I think he's in The Mandalorian, Book of Boba, Okay, he wasn't in Rogue One, I don't think. I will say that. I think... No, he was in Rogue One! He was in... R2 is literally everywhere. This guy... and he didn't have his memory wiped like 3PO, so he's literally... like, the, you know, goldmine, the holy grail of, like, Star Wars history for any characters in universe. Like, he's probably, like... Lucas probably learned a lot about, like, what happened in the prequels and stuff through R2, because he, like, remembers everything. Which is very... It's just, I don't know, it's just amazing to think about. But yeah, as a character, I need to think about this one. George, what do you think?
3PO is better, in my opinion.
I think he's quite likable. I like his connection to Luke and all of them. He's also a badass. He literally he just has everything at the ready.
Mainly the thing, like, in Revenge of the Sith at the start.
This is really tough, but I think I'm actually going to give him Legendary and not GOAT, because he's not very complex, but I think it's like an open to interpretation kind of thing. Like, he could be a really complex character if you made up your own headcanon of what he's saying exactly with the beeps and boops. But, like, think about all of his appearances everywhere. He's been, like, a loyal, like, dog-like companion. What a dog doing? He's been a loyal companion to Anakin and then, you know, Luke or Leia or whoever for decades. You know, he's had all these badass moments. Like, he literally defeats some super battle droids in the Clone Wars, like, by himself. He just spits oil on them and sets them on fire. And, like, when you think about how deadly those were and how many clones that those particular droids took out, it's kind of incredible. Like, R2 is literally a killing machine.
R2 is ready to take down the whole Empire.
Right, R2 could probably defeat the Empire by himself. And he's also got some funny moments and, you know, great interactions. Again, 3PO's greatness in A New Hope and a lot of his other appearances is all thanks to R2. If R2 wasn't there, being R2, 3PO's character would not be quite as enhanced as it is. So I hold them in equal regard, because they are a pair. You can't really have one without the other. And yeah, alright DJ, I'll see you around, see you on the flip side, and yeah, exactly, Han just says, I know. It's a pretty cool line. I think that's one of his better moments. And yeah, didn't get his head ripped off like R4. Poor R4. R.I.P. R4.
Rip off, anyway. The Rancor.
Anyway, the Rancor. Guys, the Rancor. What do we think of the Rancor?
The Rancor is the best character in the entire
Goated.
Clearly.
The Rancor and its effects on society have been a calamity for the Industrial Revolution of... I don't remember. Rancor is good. The Rancor is literally a beast, so there's not much to it. But I actually think... No, I'm going to give it great, actually, because of its appearance.
Design.
Yeah, I'll give it great. I'll put it on the level of Jabba.
I think it perfectly fits its role in the narrative. And it's iconic.
Yeah, he's nothing special, but he's not supposed to be.
So, yeah, so you can't really judge him by saying, well, it doesn't have a nuanced character arc. That's not, like, what all of the characters need or are trying to be. You know, it's a friggin' Rancor. It's just a big old beast. But I love it. I think it's pretty good. So I'm gonna give it great. I don't know this guy's name, George.
It's a pet of Jabba.
I remember Jabba's... It's just this little monkey bat thing that's laughing all the time. It's kind of hilarious. So I'm gonna give it great. I'm gonna give it great because I just love how it, like, adds to the atmosphere of Jabba's palace. It's not really a character of it in its own right. Yeah, fair enough. Character-wise, meh. Depends on the criteria.
Stormtroopers just they are too good.
Honestly, I think the Stormtroopers are. I'm gonna say great. I think I just
legendary, and they go above C-3PO.
That's hilarious. They go above C-3PO. I just think the Stormtroopers are funny with just how incompetent they are.
Yeah, they're kind of just the best comic relief.
They're basically comic relief. Although, they do have their moments when they're being genuinely threatening, because they are supposed to be the main force of, like, the Empire. But against, like, the heroes and the, like, stronger characters like the Jedi, they are just laughingstock. And I'm okay with that. I think they're alright.
To be honest, they're trash compared to the clones. The clones just...
And the thing is, they don't need to be,
Yeah, exactly. What happened to them?
You guys don't know. Oh. Okay, two things. One, I think the Stormtroopers don't need to be consistent. Normally, consistency is a big issue with, like, any character. But the thing is, they're a collective of random individuals recruited from all across the galaxy. So, you know, their personalities, their, you know, skills as a soldier, they could be really good or really bad. It doesn't need to be that consistent, which is what makes them kind of just all around good. But as for the clones, watch Bad Batch. It will answer all your questions, because in Legends, there was like a whole thing going on where they got gradually phased out, but Bad Batch has now told us the canon story, you know, connecting to Clone Wars, Rebels, and obviously the movies. What happened to the clones between Sith and Hope?
Yeah.
They're on X Factor.
Anyway.
You watch the X Factor? That sounds funny.
Hell no, I'm not watching that.
I was gonna say it's
Wait,
cringe.
what did you say? My Discord just decided to like break and turn your literal, like your visions went so glitchy for me.
I know how that is. Livy just said in chat the Stormtroopers were on X Factor or something. They just rolled up there as a squad and started dancing.
Yep, pretty
X
much.
Factor is just one of those British cultural things that I avoid because it's just absolute cringe.
It is trash. It is
And also, my
exists,
parents
just
literally
I
raised me
what?
with a dogmatic belief in, like, you know, not watching it. Like, I wasn't allowed to, probably. I wasn't interested anyway.
Anyway, the Wampa.
Yes, the Wampa.
Again,
That was
service
it.
purpose has a cool design, probably good right now.
I just give it good.
Rancor.
Yeah, it's like the Rancor, but less memorable. It's good. It's
Yeah.
a good threat for Luke in that situation. There's not much to say about it. I forget this guy's name. Wicket. That was it. Wicket. Thank you.
Warwick Davis.
Wait, it had a name?
Yeah, this
it's
is
Wicket.
specifically
What?
Wicket. It's the Ewok that Leia runs into. And like who, you know, unites the rebels
Which is
with the rest of the
actually Warwick
Ewoks.
Davis.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
Warwick
just
Davis
thought they were
Leia,
all
very
just
cool.
Ewoks. That's it.
Well,
I'll put
whatever.
them in amazing.
What do you think of them? I think they're amazing, personally. I love the Ewoks. That's an unpopular opinion, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Because,
Again, they serve a story. They're not supposed to have a character arc. Obviously, they're fucking Ewoks. Yeah, there's nothing I can really complain about.
they just have a lot of good moments. Like, I think, you know, Wicket is just completely adorable and instantly likable. He's a really, like, obviously not a child, but kind of got this, like, childish and innocent kind of, like, humor that really contrasts
Wicket
with
is
Leia's
like-
seriousness and everything.
Wicket is like a cute puppy dog on the street.
Yeah. But there's also some, like, really powerful moments with the Ewoks. Like, when they're fighting the Stormtroopers, there's some hilarious moments when they take down these professional military people with their traps. But there's this really sad moment where a couple Ewoks get blown up.
Yeah, I remember
And then one of them's kneeling over it, another one on the ground, like, wake up, wake up. And it's like, oh my god, he's dead, I'm gonna cry. Like, that was really sad, and it just came out of nowhere in the middle of this comic fest. I was like, holy shit. Oh, dude, that was so sad. Those emotional moments put him from great to amazing for me, despite the fact it's the fucking Ewoks. And a lot of people hate them, but that's fine. I love them, but
time for
you
Admiral
can disagree.
Akbar.
Oh, I have
Admiral
Yoda
Akbar.
next on my list. I have Yoda next.
Oh, that's weird. Where's Yoda?
Huh.
Is it a prequel Yoda, or is it an image of, like, Puppet Yoda from the OT?
There's no
It's the-
other Yoda in the prequel.
It's the
I think.
prequel one, but I put him in original trilogy because
got, Baby Yoda
he
here.
started off there.
I'm just
He's
going.
more prominent in the prequel trilogy. I
Let's
feel like.
let's simplify this, guys. Just follow my order because it's visual, it's on the screen, everyone can see it, everyone can keep tab. We'll get to Yoda. Don't worry, we can talk about him in
I'll
the
just rank
OT as
him
well.
now.
Go ahead, that's fine. It is weird how they don't have him
okay.
here, but whatever. It's not the most consistent. Admiral Akbar is it's a trap. He's good. I don't know much to say about him.
Yeah, good. I mean,
He's the funny
Yeah.
rebel leader who says the thing. He's alright. He exists. I think he was in Rebels as well. He had his own episode. But a lot of the Rebels episodes early on, where they just threw in a bunch of cameos to get more, like, views, because it was something familiar,
Yeah.
were very kind of meh. They were just kind of very simplistic. Because it was, you know,
Yeah, the problem with
Rebels
the
seasons
Rebels
1 and
is
2 were very kid-oriented, as opposed to Clone Wars, which was more like family. Older audiences could still enjoy
Yeah,
it.
the problem with it as well is they came in while the Clone Wars was going on.
Yeah, it was a
while
whole
the
mess,
series of
though,
Clone Wars.
because, you know, Disney buyout changed everything.
yeah, I didn't even bother with Rebels, to be honest.
I think it's worth watching,
redeeming
but
thing with some of the Rebels bits are when Ahsoka came in.
Yeah, I will say this: Rebels is
Maul.
kind of just meh, and then like season 3 is like, okay, this is alright. Season 4 is like, wow, this is good. And then the last half of season 4, literally the last 6 episodes were the only time I actually started getting super hyped and excited for Rebels. And then it ended.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was hit and miss.
Time for
Luke's surrogate parents. I forget their names. Baru and...
I forgot their names, to be honest.
You can just rank both of them at the same time, because they're basically the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uncle Owen, that was it. Aunt Baru and Uncle Owen. So these are like Luke's, like, you know, traditional kind of like, you know, don't listen to Obi-Wan, you know, old wizard parents.
Listen to Obi-Wan.
They just, I don't know, they make a cameo in the prequels, but yeah, they're just kind of meh. I have nothing to say about them.
Yeah.
I mean, no, they're a good foil to Luke, actually. They're a good contrast to show his kind of living situation
that was why I was gonna put it in
and life before, you know, the adventure. And it's really sad how they just die, but you don't really feel it because you don't get to know them that well before.
Yeah.
Wait, where's Dengar on the tier list?
I don't know, he's somewhere. Where's Dengar?
Yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
Alright, so I must see in a moment. I put Dengar somewhere.
Hey.
I don't know where Dengar is.
I put him in the original trilogy.
Yeah. I got him in prequel trilogy for some reason. That must have been a mistake. That's an error. I don't want to do too much without Swim. But yeah, like, Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen, yeah, no, they're a good, you know, parent figures to Luke. You know, guys, we're an hour in, so I'm just going to do this now. If you guys are enjoying the stream, remember to leave a like. Helps out a lot, takes like 2 seconds, as does subscribing, ringing the bell, sharing this. If you guys could help me reach 1,000 subscribers, that would mean a lot, because I could have been monetized for months now, but it's just not happening because, you know, growth is so slow. Any and all shares would be appreciated. Friends, family, you never know what kind of people you know who might love my content that haven't, you know, found it yet. So do us all a favor and share the stream, share the channel. As well as that, there's a bunch of links in the description. You can go check out George and Swim's YouTube channels. You can go join the Jedi Temple and, of course, do your own tier list. My social medias are there. You know, I've got the FNAF survey, which, if you actually go to my channel, you'll notice has been replaced on the banner because instead you'll be taken to Continuity Error, where you can also find the FNAF survey and some other links, which, you know, you'll recognize. But I just want to say, by the way, thank you guys so much for the... Oh, hey, Swim, you're back very quick. I thought you'd be gone for longer. That's good. I just want to say thank you guys so much for the positive response to the Continuity Error premiere. This has been in the works for basically a year, a few months, and I'm so happy that I've finally got it up and that this half-baked mess of a video has been received so positively. Look at that, 60 views, 14 likes in just 2 days, and every single comment has been positive. Look, even George commented, like, you guys have been saying some really kind things about me, about my ideas, and, you know, that it really means a lot, which is why I'm super excited to produce more videos. I've actually almost finished another video for Continuity Error, which will hopefully premiere this week, but we will see. Just thank you. And yeah, of course, in addition to all of that, most importantly, today's charity shout-out goes to Crisis. I like to promote charities every stream, guys, and, you know, use what little voice I have to do something positive. So, if you've got money to spare donating, or just time to maybe sign a petition or support in whatever way, this is a great charity to look at. I think they're based in the UK, so maybe if you're in a different country, there's a different equivalent, but regardless, you know, people are people, doesn't matter what nation we're from. You can see the statistics for yourself. These guys, for years, have been helping people find safe and secure accommodation. For, you know, a while. They work all across the UK to end homelessness. That's their goal. And, yeah, they've got special Christmas events. You can get involved. There's all kinds of things. It's very good. So check it out. Link in the description. As will be the shout-out to whoever wins the QOTD, depending on who gives me the best answer. We already have one from Livy. She says, Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga DS, because the game is fairly easy. There's plenty of collectibles to keep you occupied during levels, and the cutscenes are kind of funny twist on the films. Oh yeah, Uncle Owen absolutely roasted Obi-Wan. Did you guys see the new Obi-Wan trailer?
I haven't watched the full thing, but I've just seen the meme.
Oh, dude, watch it. It's because I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Uncle Owen, Aunt Beru maybe, and Obi-Wan being even more fleshed out as characters in that time period.
Because it's like a trio in that show.
Yeah, because like, when you think about Beru and Owen's perspective on things, you know, obviously Owen is, you know, suspicious of Obi-Wan. It's not just because he's like some kind of traditionalist. His experience with the Jedi has been Anakin, who just came to him in a, you know, angsty flurry looking for his mother, and just rushed in, slaughtered a camp of Tusken Raiders, and, you know, just absolutely, just basically came to his home, you know, as his, you know, his mother died and mourned, and like, he saw Anakin at his worst. We don't know exactly how much he knows, but he presumably knows that Anakin, you know, died or was turned to the dark side, and obviously what happened with Order 66, and he probably is, you know, just generally suspicious of, you know, the Force, and like, it's kind of mystical, you know, thing. So I'm really looking forward to that. Anyways. Sorry, Swim, what are you saying?
Oh, I just said, what the Force doing?
What the Force doing? George, is there something you want to say?
Anyway.
I just said Sam.
You guys have the same sense of humor. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. This is positively bonkers. You could even say
For real.
insane.
For real, on God.
For real, on God, for real. Guys, let me show you something. This is me whenever I'm interacting with George. That is crazy. Just every time. Look at the stream, guys.
The doctor.
That is crazy. And yeah, that clip, George, where I'm saying crazy, that's actually from an upcoming Hydrated Highlights. So that's actually going to be a public video on my side channel you can watch and comment on and everything. It's part of a FNAF World clip with, I think, oh, did I release it already? I can't remember. Let me actually check. I've got a Hydrated Highlights. I don't think it's out yet, but it's set to release in a couple days. It was me running into Gold Endo. It was a very rare boss.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to the tier list. The next one is Dengar.
Dengar is melon. Just
Meh.
Man, he's like Bosk.
I know nothing about this character.
I straight up just, yeah, he's just there.
He's just there.
He just appears once and then dips.
He just exists. Alright, so the next is, Wedge Antilles, that was it, thank you. Wedge Antilles is one of the rebel pilots that Luke befriends, but in the rebellion, but crucially, he's the one who survives, you know, Battle of Yavin, Battle of Hoth, and Battle of Endor. He survives all three, he appears in all three movies, and he has the most screen time out of all, like, the rebel pilots, unlike, you know, Porkins, the fat guy, who explodes. But yeah, he's an ace pilot. Honestly. You can't make this shit up.
I put him in good.
You can write this shit, George, but you can't say it. That's something that that Harrison Ford said apparently on set of New Hope or something like that.
Alright, finally we get to go to the prequels.
So yeah, Wedge. Before you guys continue, I want to say that Wedge is like kind of a background character. He's like not a particularly memorable one, but I like him. I think he just has some nice moments. I'm gonna give him good because I just like his contrast with Luke. He's like, you know, Akbar or you know, Bib Fortuna or like Luke's parents. He's just kind of there, but he's actually got a definitive character trait. You know, he's like pretty brave, pretty like loyal. You know, he's good. Prequel trilogy, my favorite. Here we go.
I can't wait to rank Blue Alien.
Aayla Secura. So the thing is, in the prequel trilogy, she was completely meh. She was a background Jedi. But if you watch Clone Wars, and she doesn't have like a separate Clone Wars appearance here, it's a different story. She's actually, she has a French accent for some reason. And she's actually, like a very, I'm trying to think of the right word. Kind of a very, like, stoic and, like, grounded Jedi. Like, she's very, she's kind of very by the books, but not in, like, an off-putting way. Like, she's very, you know, reliable and just and fair. And she has this great interaction with Ahsoka over the course of one of the story arcs. I would say she's great. Good, great. I'd say she's great. She's alright. She's like,
yeah.
No, Livy, she's not. I don't... Does Obi-Wan have... No, you're thinking of Satine.
No, she's not.
No, although there was a comic... there was a comic where it was implied that Ayla had a thing going on with Kit Fisto, and I mean...
Yo.
Who wouldn't? Kit Fisto's a sexy bastard. I mean, my god, he's... Oh, he's a snack. Where's Kit Fisto on this list? He's like the sexiest Jedi. Here he is! That damn smile. Ho ho! But that was just like a moment in a comic book that was...
Fisto be like...
It was funny,
Also,
it was
like,
funny.
With the mention of Clone Wars, I like how a lot of the prequel characters are just like... You see, they're a background character, but in the Clone Wars...
Yeah, it's like...
That's like...
Ayla Secura,
Jedi.
Ki-Adi-Mundi, and Plo Koon all get their own arcs which delve into them more. Sadly, Kit Fisto doesn't really, but we do see a bit of him across a few episodes, and he was, you know, explored more deeply in the 2D Clone Wars from 2003, so... But yeah, we'll get...
The picture they used for Kit Fisto.
Let's just rank Kit Fisto now, since we're talking about him. I'm giving this guy GOAT. He's a GOAT.
Oh yeah, that face alone deserves it.
I think unironically I would give him amazing. He's just like a really likable character. He's got a lot of charm and pizzazz. There's not much to him, but he's awesome.
I'll put him in great,
iconic.
same rank as that blue person.
Ayla Secura, look it up. But yeah, Anakin. Anakin's next.
Self-explanatory.
No explanation required. Same as with Vader, Anakin is just an incredibly, you know, complex and interesting character. Across the prequels, he evolves quite a bit. In episode 1, he's like a little kid, which was really interesting to see. He's got like this kind of, you know, power, like connection to the Force, but he's also like very, you know, independent and brash and bold, which is exemplified even further in his teenage, you know, phase in episode 2. He had a lot of cringy dialogue, but Hayden did the best I think he could with the script, and his romance with Padme was still pretty bad. But it's a little less. It wasn't forced. It's actually a pretty, when you have like a, teenager with raging hormones who's been part of a closeted monk cult for all of his life, almost for like a decade, and then he spends, just a couple days alone with friggin' what's her name? The actress of Padme. A beautiful woman, alright? Who he has a personal and emotional connection with. I think his response is actually pretty realistic, boys. Let's be honest here. It's bad, it's cringe, but it's realistic, so...
yeah, I'll put him in GOAT here, but I'm not putting him above Luke. I prefer Luke.
That's fair. I think Luke, yeah, that's fair. But Anakin is complex as well, because obviously in Revenge of the Sith, we really see his struggle with the dark side, and his kind of like, complex internal battle, as well as like being this like hero, poster boy of the Republic, leading Jedi. He also is like quite arrogant, and you could argue like rightly so, because like the Jedi was stuck in their ways, and actually Anakin was right, but on the other hand, he's just being like a selfish little man. But he didn't have a proper upbringing, because he was brought up by, like, the strict, dated, archaic Jedi Order, and not, like, proper parenting. So it's like, again, it's very, very complicated. He's probably, like, the most complex character in all Star Wars, but that's up for debate. Jury's out. Afternoon, that one guy.
Like, Clone Wars, more likable.
Livy.
Like, as a character. Like, that's something I remember from Clone Wars. It made him feel very much more likable.
Yes, I think the Clone Wars did a lot for Anakin and a lot of the main characters as well. Clone Wars Anakin was even better. Natalie Portman, that was it. I was about to look it up. Natalie Portman is who I'm talking about. She's popular. Yeah, the Clone Wars, his whole dynamic with Ahsoka, all of the stuff with Obi-Wan before and after, end of season 5. Oh, man, there's so much going on with this character. So much. Like, you can see the dark side seeping through, and his kind of, like, struggle to, adhere to the correct, as if there is a correct, ideology. His scene with Tarkin is also part of that. We've got to move on, though.
Another thing I love about Clone Wars, I really like how it gives us more scenes with him turning dark side, like, killing people constantly.
Yes. We see him gradually actually go, it's a lot more believable.
Yeah.
We see him, how many other lies have the council told me, like you see how angry and like, neglected he really is deep down. It's tragic and it's fantastic. It's really well done. Battle droids are next.
I'll put them in amazing. I don't like them as much as stormtroopers, but they're pretty good because they're like their dialogue is just.
I would
right
actually,
next to the Stormtroopers.
I would put
the
them.
Clone Wars makes them even more funny.
I would put them above Stormtroopers and amazing for that reason. They're just really good comic relief because it's like these guys should be serious and menacing, and there's other droid types which, like, you know, fill in that gap. But like, I think that screenshot might actually be from their Rebels appearance, which was brilliant. But like, they're just this, you know, hilarious bunch of idiots. You know, just following orders and following their programming, and it's kind of tragically funny. If you think about it too much, because it's like they have no free will, and their purpose is literally to die, because they get wiped so easily. But they're also really good.
Is there a story where, like, some battle droids actually gain consciousness? I would love to see that as an actual story.
There is, there's a bunch of stories. So there's one from a comic book, which is set in the late Clone Wars. There's an experiment. There's basically a reverse Order 66 that Palpatine had programmed. I think it was like Order 166 or something. I can't remember. But there's this reverse protocol which basically gets the droids to, you know, turn on their leaders rather than the clones or something like that. I can't remember. So he arranged with Dooku this experiment to activate that protocol in one battle droid, which proceeded to gain its own, like, personality and consciousness, and then basically rebelled, and it basically, escaped the army, and it went to join the Republic, and it fought alongside clone troopers like Rex. It was amazing.
That actually sounds like a really good story.
It like, customized itself, but I think it unfortunately perished, in a battle, like, before, like, anything big could come of it. And I think after the experiment, Palpatine concluded, no, we need to get the clones to turn on the Jedi and, like, do that one instead. I can't remember the details, but it's amazing, yeah. I'll look it up sometime. I'll send it to you. Star Wars Theory did a video about it. That's how I know a lot of these things.
And who likes to spit a lot. I don't know.
So, moving on is,
Oh yeah, this guy.
what's his name? Oh, I should remember this.
I forgot his name.
Man who likes to spit a lot.
You are in big doo-doo. Livy, you've been playing the Phantom Menace. What's this guy's name? Boss Nass. Boss Nass, that was it. Boss Nass is a goat. I'll give him...
Wait, I just realized he isn't...
I'll put him great.
I just realized he isn't in my prequel trilogy. What?
Bruh.
Okay, where is this
fix
guy?
your list.
Where did I
Don't know.
He was in Phantom Menace, and I think that's
I
it.
put him...
Oh, no, he was in Clone
This guy
Wars.
in Clone Wars.
He was in Clone Wars, though. He was in Clone Wars, I believe, briefly. I don't know if you guys remember, there's an arc set on Naboo where the Gungans managed to defeat friggin' General Grievous. A monster that has been, you know, has escaped and been defeated by countless different groups, armies of Jedi and clones, is defeated by Gungans. And it's a big moment for Jar Jar. It's great. It's hilarious, and it's kind of ridiculous, but I love it.
The species of Jar Jar has been General Grievous.
Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna give him legendary. Like, I'm not even kidding. He's just so funny to me. I love his, like, authority despite being such a ridiculous,
He's so iconic,
frog-looking dude. Like, I'm sorry, like, it's not even because he's a good character. He has, like, one appearance, and he's basically on the level of Jabba or the Rancor. Even he should really be great, but he's just so funny. He's a big frogman.
Anyway,
so if you want to move on, this doesn't need explaining. We said earlier, again, the original trilogy is great, but in the prequels, you really get to go deep into Palpatine's master manipulation and, you know, personality and, like, his, you know, strengths and weaknesses. And the Clone Wars takes this even further, and it's like, his actual motivations for why he's evil aren't really explained unless you read some old novels and stuff about, like, his actual, you know, upbringing and how he met Plagueis and all the stuff pre-Phantom Menace. But I've heard about that from videos, and yeah, his character is S tier, S+. He's a goat. He's an absolute goat.
I don't.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Anything you want to add?
Yeah, that's pretty much what Palpatine is.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I love how in all of Star Wars, the only time Palpatine has ever been close to defeat, except when he actually was defeated by Vader in Episode 6, the only time he actually was, like, threatened for his scheme to fall apart was when Padme led a, like, political, like, petition through the Senate. There have been multiple occasions where Padme, politically, has, like, defeated him or come close to exposing him in some way. The Jedi, the clones, his Sith apprentice, the Separatists, everyone. No one came close. Okay, actually, I guess Fives came close. Fives came close, but Padme's the only one who came even closer. Yeah, we'll talk about Fives in a minute. He's coming up. Yeah, technically. I think Palpatine was playing, though. I don't think Mace could have defeated him. I think he was just putting himself in a weak spot so that when Anakin walked in, because he could sense him approaching. If Anakin wasn't there, he would have just taken him down. Like, Mace Windu's a master, and I think he would have lasted a lot longer with Palpatine, but I have no doubt that Palpatine was just kind of letting Mace get a bit of ground so that when Anakin arrived, he was, the victim, or playing the victim. But yeah, yeah.
Commander Cody.
Commander Cody, the time has come. Execute Order 66. I'm going to give him great. Cody is just a by-the-books clone officer, but he's a good contrast to Obi-Wan in Clone Wars.
Him and Rex are the most iconic clones, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in Revenge of the Sith, Cody doesn't really do much that's unique or say much, but in, Clone Wars, we still don't see him that much, but we do see how he's, close with Rex. He's got that brotherhood kind of bond, and also like Obi-Wan, more formal, more by the books, like a fitting match. Like Cody is to Obi-Wan as Rex is to Anakin. One is like kind of creative and bold and like a bit off the hook. The other is very by the books and strict. Cody is actually a special clone as well. He's I believe it's like a major.
Wait.
Like
commander,
martial commander or something. So he's not just a commander of like I'm trying to remember now, a not battalion, a legion. He's like the highest ranking clone in the entire army. Like I think he's the highest ranking clone ever produced.
Isn't Rex like second?
Yeah, Rex. I can't remember if Rex is anything more than captain specifically. But then, like, in terms of ranking, it goes, like, clone commanders, Rex, and then, Cody, and then Jedi. So, because they're generals. It's pretty interesting. But yeah,
Count
next
Dooku.
up is Dooku. Now, Count Dooku is legendary, dude. This guy's awesome. I think,
I'm putting him in GOAT.
Prequel trilogy, Dooku, I wasn't a huge fan of, like, he was fine, he felt a little goofy, but still somewhat menacing. I like him in the Clone Wars more than the prequel trilogy, to be honest.
You could say the same about a lot of stuff. Clone Wars was better written, just all around, and there was a lot more time for the characters to flesh out.
He's just way more.
Oh my god! You know what?
Pure menace and like.
You know what? I'm giving him GOAT for one reason and one reason only. Yes, he's this powerful Lord of the Sith that's not too similar to Palpatine. He's got like a very unique kind of flair and all like the Separatist interactions and stuff, and like his political angle. He's a great villain character in episodes 2 and 3 and the Clone Wars, but also. Does anyone remember that one moment where he gets captured by pirates and then chained to Obi-Wan and Anakin? Yeah. So the three of them have to cooperate to escape. It is the funniest thing. It's things like that which really enhance his character because he gets put in these really difficult situations for him, and you see the dynamic with the other characters and the interactions. It's so good. I love it. I think that's absolute, S tier, GOAT. He's a GOAT. And I think the next character is also a GOAT. And if you want to move on.
Maul. Oh, Darth Maul.
Darth Maul was pretty much just a kind of, silent antagonist who would have been maybe in the good category in Phantom Menace. He was cool. But then we had Clone Wars and Rebels, which have, and Dave Filoni has single-handedly taken Maul from, like, a secondary, tertiary character to one of the greatest villains in all of Star Wars. In fact, can you even call him a villain? Yes and no. It's complicated. He has so many good dialogue and dynamics with a bunch of characters in Clone Wars and Rebels. It's just great.
And he also has links in almost the original trilogy. He's in Solo.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That was
a cameo that was never followed up on. But yeah, Darth Maul killed Qui-Gon. I can never forgive him for that. That's fair. He's evil, but he's a really interesting kind of evil. I love the dynamic with his brother Savage. I love how he, tries to manipulate Ahsoka in, you know, Clone Wars Season 7, and they have their whole showdown on Mandalore. Yeah, it's just amazing. All the stuff with Death Watch, my god.
If Maul was just, like, Phantom Menace Maul, he'd be, like, probably good tier. I mean, he's cool and all, he led to a really good fight, but
Best
there was
duel in all Star
absolutely
Wars.
zero weight in his death.
Amazing.
Like,
Yeah.
the weight in his death was paid in the Phantom Menace.
Right?
Though, in the Clone Wars, he is way, way, way better.
I like his death though in the Phantom Menace because that fight with Obi-Wan, easily one of the best lightsaber duels in the whole series.
Yeah.
I think actually as well, it's really good, like, you know, symbolic, thematic kind of stuff for Obi-Wan's character arc, because he and Maul is his nemesis. Like, they have this very unique dynamic, and each of their interactions is super interesting, especially that final duel in Rebels. One of the best things, possibly the best thing that I think Rebels has produced, is Maul's death, his true end, and his last interaction with Obi-Wan.
I didn't even watch Rebels, but
magnificent.
Holy shit, I love that scene.
Yeah, that scene is so good.
I've not seen it yet.
Watch it. It's like, don't even worry about spoilers. It's, you know, that was years ago, and it's so good. Like, it's cool that Ezra gets to meet all these characters. Like, he meets Obi-Wan briefly, but then he just gets sent away, and I didn't like that. It felt too fast, but it's worth it for the Maul Obi-Wan scene that came after, because my god, it's just beautiful. How after all those years, they finally, you know, resolve everything. Guys, we've been streaming for an hour and a half already, and we're only halfway through the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
So maybe what we could do, if we're out of time, and you guys don't want to go on for ages, is just do, like, the movies, and then come back to this with a part 2, doing Clone Wars, Rebels, Rogue One, Bad Batch, Mando, everything. And we don't have to do it soon. We don't have to come back to it, like, tomorrow. We could actually leave this for a few months, watch everything, so that we actually know, like, all the characters, and we're actually familiar with all the source material. And then, like, finish this in another stream, like, in a few months.
Yeah. I could see this being, like, 3 parts.
Honestly,
like,
yeah, maybe.
There's so many characters.
Because, like, if we just do the trilogies, and then we do Clone Wars, and all the TV shows, and the video games, maybe by then I'll have played Fallen Order, so I could, like, rank those. We could do all of that, like, whenever we're ready. I'm not in a rush, guys, because, like, you know, with Ambience, when we did that Phasma Frights tier list, we just... did a part 2 immediately because it was intended to be one stream, but, like, we could come back to this, change the rankings. So let's just do the trilogies today.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty wise. And yeah, you guys, we come back to this when you've seen Bad Batch. I mean, there's only 5 characters anyway, 6 if you count Echo, but he was in Clone Wars. You know, and maybe like Rebels, or at least like have gained the knowledge.
Funny story, I don't have Disney Plus.
Ah, what a shame. If you don't mind spoilers, you could just watch Star Wars Theory or like videos about stuff like that. But I'd say Bad Batch and Clone Wars you need to see and experience. So if you don't have Disney Plus, get it. Get someone's login details. Maybe swim caricatures or something. I don't know. You guys can work that out. I wouldn't share mine because it's not my account. It's like, yeah, it's my brother's. We share as a family, so we couldn't. And we're also out of spaces, so we couldn't add you if we wanted to. So sorry, George, but I can't.
Yeah, it's like my account's my mum's account.
Yeah. All right. So let's finish off prequel trilogy, sequel trilogy. General Grievous is next.
I'd say
I think he's GOAT as well.
You put General Grievous in
one
GOAT.
of the best memes of Star Wars, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, Revenge of the Sith characters automatically get a bonus for the memes. So you both put him in GOAT.
Yeah.
I
put him in good.
Good? Why good? That's quite a big difference.
I'd probably put him good because, like, he feels menacing, but also kind of goofy at the same time. Like, the same guy who, like, took down several Jedi is the same person who got defeated by Gungans.
Yeah. Now, I would agree. I'm going to put him in good because I do like some aspects of his character, but I think I think Grievous has been ruined. He's the anti-Maul, and here's why.
Yeah.
You know what, is a really, really bad idea when creating a character? What they did with Grievous. they designed his appearance and his abilities before actually giving him any kind of personality or, you know, character. Yeah. That's what they did. So when 2003 Clone Wars was made, they didn't know yet what in the upcoming Revenge of the Sith movie Grievous would be like. So they just created their own personality for him, which was this robotic, merciless killing machine. He was the most, like, you know, overpowered, threatening thing. And if it, you know, aside from the fact he has no force powers, he could probably defeat anyone other than, like, Palpatine in, like, a one-on-one. Grievous is absolutely, like, he's completely OP. But the thing is, those 2003 Clone Wars aren't canon. What George decided on in Revenge of the Sith and continued in Clone Wars was this ridiculously goofy, mustache-twirling villain persona that does not work with his concept. Because it really clashes with the idea that he's this, like, terrifying killing machine, that he's such a goof, such an idiot, and such a, like, cowardly... Like, he's such a coward. He runs away from every fight, despite being really strong. Like, it's just really... It's really disappointing, because Grievous, sorry.
Was it?
Grievous had a lot of potential that has been wasted on, like, such a lame, like, characterization. Like, his voice is really weird as well.
Is, like, you never get to see what actually happened to him when he was in his, like, normal form. Because he's 95% robotic.
Well, there is a story. I know this story from watching YouTube videos. I don't know where exactly it was told. I think it was a novelization. He was part of a species that was basically, like, known for being warlike, I think. And his resentment... There's different origins. There's different origins of his motivation, which, again, canon sucks. The Legends of Grievous is so much better. Canon Grievous resents the Jedi because they rejected him or something, which is just lame. In Legends, his species had a dispute with another species on a planet where they were having a whole ass war with each other.
Oh, I heard about this.
The Jedi came and they just kind of decided, they made a judgment that Grievous's, like, species was the ones in the wrong, and they, like, penalized them in some way. That started Grievous's resentment with the Jedi. And then when Palpatine was scheming and planning, you know, the Rise of the Sith, and, you know, the takeover, he picked out Grievous as a tool. And he got Dooku to set up an explosion that would, you know, critically wound Grievous, and blame it on the Jedi, while, you know, building Grievous a cyborg robotic body to make him as powerful as possible. They also tried to put Sifo Dyas's blood into Grievous so that he could become Force sensitive, but it didn't work. But Grievous was still super powerful, and Grievous was born, I think it was after Phantom Menace, but before Attack of the Clones. Grievous was on Geonosis. We just don't see it in the movie. And that's where Grievous earned his first lightsabers. He took out, using, like, those Magna Guard sticks, a few Jedi.
Grievous's personality is just asthma.
It's just asthma. I have asthma. This is offensive. This is asthma stereotyping. I will not stand for it. Where's the A in LGBTQA? Oh, wait. It doesn't stand for asthma. I'm kidding. But, like, yeah, Legends Grievous was a goat, but, canon is good. Barely. You know, I'm even gonna put him in meh. I'm that disappointed.
Yeah, like, he's, like, bottom good for me. Like, he's just barely there.
At least no characters have met terrible yet. We have not had a single terrible character, not on my list.
Like,
Jango Fett.
In the sequels, I have characters that will go in terrible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. Jango Fett guy. What do you think of Jango?
Jango Fett.
He's fine.
Not as good as Boba.
Really? Okay.
I put him in amazing.
I would put him in amazing as well, actually. I think he's lacking the nuance of Boba's development in Book of Boba. But comparing him alongside OT Boba alone, I think he's actually more interesting. He has way more dialogue. Again, it's not explained in the movies. There's extra material for this, like video games. But, you know, his motivation's kind of weird. Like, he's a Mandalorian, and he's got this huge backstory which didn't exist at the time of the movie. So it doesn't really count. But he's basically one of the last, true Mandalorians, and he wants a son to carry his legacy, so that's why he has an identical clone without the, you know, effects. And Dooku picks him out for skills. Sorry, go on.
One thing that puts him down is, like, he's only in one film.
Yeah, I think again, he serves his purpose. Like Jabba, like he's not a super complex character. He just kind of is, you know, the cloning template, the bounty hunter. He's kind of like, you know, he just wants to make a profit and, you know, let the Mandalorian legacy survive. And, you know, Dooku has a use for him, so they agree to that whole thing. I think that's fine. Maybe I could move him down to great. I don't know though.
What I like about him is that he led to it was Clone Wars, I think. The Clone Wars episodes where Boba was basically trying to take revenge on Mace Windu.
Yes, that was a good arc.
I really liked those.
I loved seeing Boba. We need more Boba.
Because Mace Windu, he literally just killed this man in cold blood.
Right? And like yeah, they built a whole character arc off that, which was sadly rushed.
He never apologized for leaving this boy an orphan.
Right? Like, yeah, Mace Windu's a bad guy when you really think about it. The Jedi are evil.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, the Jedi are not the good guys. They are worse than the Republic, which is corrupted by Palpatine.
Used flamethrowers on living beings.
Oh, I remember that scene. Yeah, Ki-Adi-Mundi is one of the worst Jedi, actually. He is awful. There's a comic book where Anakin thought that Obi-Wan had died. This is like pre-episode 2, when Anakin, you know, his master, who he'd been training with for years, when he thought he was dead, Ki-Adi-Mundi basically said, just get over it. He basically just said to this child, oh, it'll be alright. You just need to, he told him not to cry. He told him to detach himself from emotions. And it's like, what the fuck? That is such an unhealthy way of dealing with loss. Luckily, Obi-Wan was alive the whole time, so it didn't matter.
It's the opposite of just telling someone to cry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, we get to rank him after Jar Jar.
You mean Darth Plagueis, the true master of the Sith. So clearly Jar Jar is a GOAT tier character because he's, you know, the best thing George Lucas has ever thought of.
Didn't George say that he had plans for Jar Jar, but because of the hate, he didn't enact them?
It's really sad.
That's kind of sad.
It's really, really sad what happened to Jar Jar. So George had a plan, and because of fan response, he scrapped it. Jar Jar was going to secretly be Darth Plagueis, we think, or like the true master of the Sith, the master of Palpatine, who would have had a completely different story in episodes 2 and 3. The important thing, I mean, obviously he's got like the goofy, you know, outcasted Gungan thing going on in episode 1, and he's great. You know, I think he's hilarious. People think he's cringe, not funny. That's fine. But I think he's great.
The annoying thing with Jar Jar,
I don't find him funny personally, but I don't get the mass amounts of hate for him.
No,
like, he's not that annoying.
He did not deserve that. The actor actually had some like really bad mental health issues because of the death threats he received. It was just atrocious. It was really the worst of the Star Wars fandom. Swim, you were gonna say?
One annoying thing about Jar Jar is after the Revenge. In fact, after the Clone Wars, you just don't see him.
Well, yeah, that's the thing as well. So, think about his appearance.
In Revenge of the Sith, he's at Padme's funeral, and then he's just gone.
Yeah.
He just goes gone.
He's just like, where Jar Jar? Jar Jar gone. Like, episode 2, he still has, he's like a politician now, so he has like that role in granting emergency powers to Palpatine, which enables Palpatine's entire scheme. Again, the idea was that he was secretly Plagueis, and this was Plagueis working with, you know, his apprentice. But they changed that. They had the tragedy of Darth Plagueis be like pre or during Phantom Menace. There's a novelization which I think is canon. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith, he has a cameo appearance. He appears at Padme's funeral looking sad, and that's it. He's gone. And for
literally years, loses everyone he's attached to in his life, and he's just like minor inconvenience.
Right? Here's the thing. For years, I had no idea what happened to Jar Jar, but there is actually a canon answer for what happened by the time of New Hope. Jar Jar was completely ostracized and despised in universe because everyone looked to him as the person who enabled Palpatine's, you know, fascist dictatorship to rise.
Oh yeah.
He was the one who granted emergency powers to Palpatine, and if that hadn't happened, Palpatine wouldn't have been able to create the Empire. Everyone resented him for this. So, decades later, by the time of the original trilogy, he's basically this old guy who is now a clown who entertains children on the streets of Naboo. And he just has this really pathetic and sad existence, forgotten by everyone and remembered as nothing more but, like, you know, an idiot who, you know, enabled Palpatine's dictatorship, which led to the deaths of, like, millions of people. It's really sad, but it's kind of fitting, but, like, because I wish George had just stuck to his original plan, just said, fuck what people think. I have a plan, I'm going to follow it through, because it would have been so much better. So, I'm going to give Jar Jar great, but I think if they'd actually gone with the Plagueis route, he would have been GOAT.
I put him in amazing.
If they followed through with what they were going to do with him, I'd probably put him, like, amazing, legendary, somewhere around there.
Yeah, honestly, agreed, but...
Alright.
Jar Jar just stumbled after episode 2. Ki-Adi-Mundi is...
terrible.
Honestly, meh.
Terrible.
No, good. Meh, good. He's...
I'm going to put him in bad.
He's meh.
To be honest, I don't remember much about him in the Clone Wars.
That's exactly it. Much. Even in Clone Wars, I don't remember Ki-Adi-Mundi having much of a distinctive personality. He's just another stoic and rigid by the book Jedi, which we've already got, and he's just kind of not very likable. I'm giving meh.
I love that face he makes when Order 66 happens.
Right? He's like so shocked. And there's actually a novelization or something like of the clones being like, you know, pretty happy to gun him down because he'd been such a bad general for so long. Like, they were actually pretty... They had no remorse when they, like, destroyed him. They were like, great!
Felt vengeful.
Because, again, Order 66...
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, he just told some of them to, like, stop caring when, like, a fellow clone died. Literally.
There would have been times like that, because a lot of, you know, with Order 66, like... Chips aside, the whole clones turn the Jedi thing is way more believable than you'd think, because most Jedi leaders were incompetent or, you know, just unfit, because the entire Jedi code doesn't align with kind of, you know, military discipline or, you know, kind of like, the whole ideology is different. So, like, so many clones over the years were just killed because of the incompetence of Jedi generals, and a lot of clones resented them for it.
I think this is canon, I don't know, but the reason why Count Dooku actually left the Jedi Order is because he felt that Jedis became soldiers instead of actual, like...
Yeah, that's what they
were meant to be.
Yeah. And they did become, though. They became warlike in their, you know, paranoia of the Sith return, and yeah, it was just a whole mess. Mace Windu. What do you think of Mace Windu?
For me, he's dope.
Let's see, S tier because his death has to do with the window. His name is Mace Windu. It's kind of like poetry, it rhymes.
Samuel L. Jackson.
It's like poetry, it rhymes. Windu out the window.
Actually,
his name was Windu, and he fell out of the window. Do you remember Star Wars Detours? Detours!
Wait, what?
Star Wars Detours, the cancelled,
oh, yeah.
You know, self-parody cartoon. It was going to be the last thing George made. In Star Wars before the Disney buyout, like as a kind of like love letter to it, but it got cancelled. There's still a few clips you can find online though, they're really funny. I'm gonna give Windu amazing. I think he's basically Ki-Adi-Mundi, but better. Because he's a real contrast to Anakin as the stern teacher kind of figure, who is like, you know, completely imbued with the Jedi code to the letter. But he's also a really powerful, you know, Jedi in his own right, and kind of like, you can understand his
I just remembered
ideals.
Something. You know the episode where it was like, it's basically a kaiju movie, like in Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. Those episodes?
Vaguely,
like,
yeah.
I don't remember the name, but it was like this weird lizard creature.
I don't remember.
Remember that?
Oh, the Godzilla thing? The Godzilla parody? Yeah.
Yeah, the Godzilla thing.
Let's upload the clothes.
Didn't Mace Windu not want to kill it?
Yeah, I can't remember. The Clone Wars gives Mace a bit more humanity, but he's still very, I don't know, he's very indoctrinated, I think, and the Clone Wars still shows that. But I know what you're talking about. I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
Again, might need to rewatch it. Guys, we should do a rewatch, maybe as a party. The problem is I can't screen share Disney Plus because it automatically blacks out. It's a copyright thing, but if we could find a way to, like, get in a Discord VC and, like, have a party and screen share or just watch things together. I mean, we're probably already going to do stuff like that on my Fazbear Fright server. I don't know about Swim, but I know George is on there. No, you're both there. You're both admins. What am I saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be a thing. But, yeah, it's, I don't know. we could do something like that. We'll figure it out.
Anyway.
Next character, Newt Gunray. Viceroy Newt Gunray.
For me, he's actually terrible.
Really?
Really?
I
find no appeal to him.
I think he's amazing. I think he's supposed to be unlikable. He's this slimy, backstabbing, profit-oriented, businessman. And regardless of, external content, in, the prequels and the Clone Wars, he's consistently shown to be this, selfish, cowardly, spineless little weasel. And I love that. I actually think he's a great villain. Okay, maybe he's not amazing, but he's pretty memorable.
Yeah.
I remember, I never forgot him.
I find no redeeming qualities for him.
True, he doesn't have that, But I don't know.
I don't think there's anything I actively dislike about him, but I don't think I have many things I actually actively like about him, so I'm just gonna put him in good tier.
That's alright, Yeah, I just think, again, he's funny. He's like boss nass to me, but evil.
Alright, he is actually
And
funny.
Livy, I see what you're saying in chat. Mason Dew is a badass mofo with a purple lightsaber. I mean, you guys know that story, right? How he has badass
with
his lightsaber. And he asked for purple so that he'd stand out, specifically for George, and George was like, alright, I'll see what I can do. And they just they gave him a purple light, because he was originally going to have a blue one. He had a blue one in Phantom Menace, we just never saw it ignited.
I think most people love, Mason Andrew just because he's Samuel Jackson.
He's Samuel L. fucking Jackson. This guy is a badass. He's the best. I love Samuel L. Jackson. And he has
a purple lightsaber.
He's just really cool. And also, Livy, yes. If you guys haven't watched it, Livy actually, free shout out, you're welcome. Unless you're in the QOTD, obviously. Livy and I, on her channel, have been doing a series playing The Phantom Menace on PlayStation 1. And, yeah, we've had some pretty funny moments. I can't find the playlist, but, Livy's Phantom Menace playthrough with me has been hilarious. We've been, absolutely cheesing it. Yeah. Okay. We're almost there with the prequel trilogy, boys. Obi-Wan.
We have the big man himself.
Big man himself is in GOAT tier. No explanation
there.
Obi-Wan is just...
Obi-Wan goes in GOAT tier.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can explain. It doesn't need to be said, so I'm gonna let you explain.
And honestly, for me, he goes above Anakin.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah. I could see that.
I wouldn't put him above Anakin, because I feel like his character is slightly less complex, but yeah, that's fair. More complex doesn't mean better.
Yeah.
Why? Why GOAT tier? Why that high?
Also, if you look, Obi-Wan has some good character development from, The Phantom Menace. And if you look at his character, he is the most tragic character in the whole series.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but they sent me this thing a while ago. Someone posted, it was a picture of Rey saying, think of a more character who has gone through more tragedies.
A more character, yeah.
And then it was Obi-Wan, because the person put Rey, and then the clip was about Obi-Wan, and basically, so he saw his master die. He saw all the Jedi die.
Yep.
So his apprentice
had to be the one who went to kill. Yeah. He had
saw his worst enemy kill his
Yep. Excuse me. Man, sorry.
Okay, that's one thing. I can't remember the name, but the love interest, I really liked how they played off each other, and it shows that he's entirely loyal to the Jedi, because he said he would have left if she said the word.
Yeah, so Satine, the Queen of Mandalore.
Yeah, Satine.
Yeah. So, Episode 1. He's this brilliant, young Obi-Wan, he's, learning from Qui-Gon. You can see the wisdom being passed from one to the other, and Episode 2, he's a nice mentor figure to Anakin. He's a very inspiring, brave, balanced, and noble, hero. In Episode 3, we take that to the max, and we see his, brotherly, fatherly, almost, dynamic with Anakin completely fall apart as they are split by their ideology. And in Clone Wars, we get a ton more character development. We see him more with the clones. We see him have a love interest. We see more of him with Maul, which is finished off in Rebels. And then there's the original trilogy. Yeah, Obi-Wan loses everything. He loses every single person he's ever loved, except for, Luke, maybe, because he dies first. In the prequels, he loses every single person, and I think the new TV show is going to go a bit deeper on how he morphed and evolved into OT Obi-Wan, which is going to be brilliant because despite all of that, he's stuck to the light side. He might have been a little bit stuck in his ways and, you know, a little bit kind of like traditional to the point of, you know, being too rigid to adapt and evolve. But I think he balances things well, and he's like he's like incredibly heroic, incredibly noble and inspiring for that. He's instant go-to.
I can't put him above Anakin, but I can put him like right below him.
That's fair. I think Anakin is just more complex because it's like the whole thing is Anakin's story, and it's like it's a little more grey, you know. Is Anakin in the right? Is Anakin in the wrong? You know, Anakin's very complex, and I think that enhances him. But yeah, I love Obi-Wan equally. They're both two of my favorite characters. They have the the dynamic duo in Episode 3. It's brilliant. Lots of good moments. Okay, Padme. Padme. What do you guys think of Padme?
I would have more to say about her if I actually rewatched Attack of the Clones that night.
Yeah, fair enough.
I kind of procrastinated.
I'd say she's in great, honestly. Like, her character, for the role her character have, it's kind of disappointing in a way.
Yeah.
From what I remember, she's fine. I mean, probably like good, somewhere around there.
I am gonna put Padme. Not in good, not in great, but legendary. Okay, and here's why. To me, she's very similar to Leia, obviously. Like, there's a clear parallel. But what makes her stand out away from just being a strong female character is how she kind of, like, shifts and, like, you know, changes depending on the situations and her whole, like, relationship with the other characters. In Episode 1, she's clearly very intelligent. She's clearly quite a smart and, you know, leader with a lot of integrity, because she has that whole trick of, you know, I'm actually the queen, and it's like a decoy that she has in charge. And then, like, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan have that look at, like, you know, as if they made a bet, because they knew. They just didn't say, because they're Jedi. They're wise. But I love how she, like, fooled everyone with that, and obviously, you know, she is actually not just some kind of, like, you know, lazy, you know, untouchable nobility royal. No, she's hands-on. She goes in, you know, gun in hand, leading the charge when they take back Theed, and she holds Newt Gunray at gunpoint. She's also a really clearly, like, intelligent and, you know, well-spoken politician in the Senate. We see this in Episode 2, but we see this the most in Clone Wars, and it's just amazing how she can, like, challenge Palpatine when he's basically, you know, just as popular, and, like, how she actually defends justice almost more than anyone else, I would say, because knowingly or not, the Jedi and the clones are all partaking in a cycle of violence and the war perpetuated by Palpatine. Sidious, you know. But all of that aside, you've also got Episode 3, her romance with Anakin. I think it was pretty badly done in Episode 2. It was very cringy, but I think it could have been worse. You know, I thought it was alright. I think, again, Natalie Portman, she's a good actress, actor, you know, like... Yeah. She and Hayden had a good dynamic, at least, and that helped carry it more than I think the OT, which is really stilted.
Really, no complaints for me. Just I don't think she does anything amazingly.
That's the thing. Yeah. I feel like she was sidelined in Episode 3 and maybe a little bit Episode 2, because it's like she could have had more to do. But in Episode 3, she's literally just there to be sad and then die of sadness, and it's just really underwhelming. Which is why she's not a GOAT. She doesn't have anything exemplary either. I wish she'd had a bit more of a connection with Leia in the original trilogy. Maybe if she'd actually survived for a few years onwards and then died of natural causes later on or something. I think that would have been a lot more interesting than just dying on the spot as, you know, in childbirth. Yeah. Although dying in childbirth is a thing that happens, so that's a nice kind of symbolic thing that, you know, the good in Anakin, the good times have died, and now, you know, all that's left is, like, you know, the legacy in, you know, these newly born children. It's, you know, symbolically it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she doesn't do enough in Episode 3, I think. She wasn't given enough. But yeah, everything else is just, honestly, top tier for me.
Plo Koon?
Plo Koon! Plo's Bros! Who here is part of Plo's Bros?
The guy who saved Ahsoka.
Plo is a GOAT.
Wait,
I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
He's a GOAT.
I put him in amazing.
Yeah,
Fair
probably
enough.
amazing or legendary.
Again,
Character's more iconic than...
I'll explain in a moment.
Yeah. You were about to start talking, and I couldn't tell if, my Discord froze or not.
Guys, I'm really sorry, my connection just dropped. Sometimes it does this, it just blips out to nothing for like 10 seconds. But now we're full green, 0 drop frames, it's fine. This happens sometimes. I don't know how, I don't know why. I don't know where it cut off. So I'm just going to go back and reiterate that Plo Koon is a GOAT tier. You're welcome to ask why. But Swim had something to say.
Yeah.
Please start again. I'm really sorry, dude, but this happens sometimes.
Yeah,
Nothing I can do.
In the Clone Wars, he's a really good character.
Yes, Clone Wars is where it happens. OT, I mean, in the trilogy, in the prequels, he was just a background character with no, dialogue or anything. But Clone Wars made him a legend, in my opinion. Maybe he gets legendary rather than GOAT, to be honest, because it is just Clone Wars.
Yeah.
No, I'm
I
putting him
remember
GOAT.
one thing specifically.
Sorry to cut this
in
short,
the
guys,
Clone
but
Wars
I've
episode.
got dinner.
I remember him saying the clones' lives are not expendable.
Yes.
I remember something along those lines.
So I gotta go now, guys.
Oh no,
Only for him
Swim!
to be shot down
We're
in
almost done as
166.
well. Honestly, we could just finish with just the originals and the prequels, because I don't know if we'll have time for all of the
Yeah.
sequels.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have time.
And
for the sequels.
those 6 movies
See you
are the
guys later.
original ones. We're 2 hours in. I think
All right. See you
it's
as well.
just 1, 2, 3,
Bye.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters to go. Swim, we'll see you around, alright? We'll do a part 2. Bye-bye. Thanks for... Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He really had to go. Never mind. Alright, well, guys, if you want to check out Swim, he's got his YouTube channel. Shame he had to go, but that's alright. We'll just finish without him. It's not a problem. I think we have to come back to this area, because this is such a big tier list, and, we could rush through it, but I want to... the whole point is that we discuss, and we actually engage deeply with what's going on. I mean... George is, the person to go to for this, guys. Him and Ambience, between the 3 of us, we're basically the Fazbear Frights tier list. Actually, guys. We're really good at elaborating our opinions in way too much detail. Yeah. Alright, but, yeah. Again, Swim owns the Jedi Temple, guys. If you want to go join, links in the description, right? The invite will last forever, but it only has 10 uses, so join, or, before it runs out. Anyway. Now that I've created artificial demand, let's finish off. So, Plo Koon, yeah, so in Clone Wars,
Yeah.
the clones, it's Comet and, I can't remember, it's Barrel or Bunker or Blast or something, I can't remember their names. But, Plo's, they're like, "Sir, I thought we were meant to be expendable," and then he's like, "Not to me." First of all, the voice acting's great. Second of all, he's actually the one who brought Ahsoka into the temple, and he has this beautiful kind of father-uncle dynamic with her. It's a really wholesome, really sweet. Plo also is one of the best Jedi. Most of the Jedi, saw the clones as organic machines, but, he's more like Anakin or Obi-Wan, where he actually respects them as people, and he tries to encourage them and motivate them like his own students. To the point where they have this really tight bond, fostered together. And I love that, because it makes you think during Order 66, if Wolf, his, captain commander, was with him, rather than him being, in the air, in, a spaceship with some other random clones from his squad, would he have even been able to do it? No, I think Wolf would have been like Rex and actually kind of resisted the chip to an extent. Sorry, George, you can speak now.
Yeah, if he was there, I feel like he might, very, very emphasized might, make it out just barely because he resisted.
Honestly, first of all, Wolf is in Rebels with Rex and Gregor as 3 clones who had their inhibitor chip removed and escaped. The exact full story of that is yet to be revealed, but I won't spoil this, George. Watch Bad Batch. It has some interesting tie-ins with Clone Wars and Rebels. It's beautiful how they made it mesh and connected different character arcs in a way that wasn't too fan-servicey. Because Star Wars does have a problem with being too fan-servicey, I would say, but... Anyway, Bad Batch is basically Clone Wars Season 8, let me put it that way. Plo... Yeah, I love Plo Koon. It's really sad how he died, and... I know that you shouldn't just unwrite character deaths because they, take away from the weight of the, event. Order 66, I don't want people to bring Mace Windu or Ki-Adi-Mundi back. I think it's good that they died, and it's like, you know, that actually has an impact. But I would make an exception for Plo Koon. Plo was such a compelling character. I would love to have seen him survive Order 66 and see stories with him, you know, in the original trilogy era.
If Clone Wars had its own, like, hell, maybe an own arc dedicated to just him, maybe 2, maybe,
right?
Probably at most 2. That would be just great.
Yeah, because, I mean, Plo, you know, again, they could do this with Bad Batch. It's possible. Plo would just be one more person to survive Order 66. And out of the, you know, thousands who died, I wouldn't mind it at all, because I love him. He is just one of my favorite characters. Really, just one of the best Jedi. Like, he's actually been described as, like,
you see,
the best
Plo
Jedi.
Koon survived because he was in a starship and it exploded. But Kylo Ren actually survived his starship exploding. So clearly it all connects.
Exactly. Yeah, clearly. Actually. Like, I feel like he could have survived somehow. I think he could have been horrendously injured, but I think he could have survived. I think it's possible. We didn't see him die, you know. With the others, we saw the body.
He'd probably, like, be missing a couple limbs.
Yeah, he'd miss a limb or two, for sure, but... I don't know. I was gonna say, and I can't remember. I don't think it matters. Let's move on to another one of my favorite Jedi. Qui-Gon!
Ooh, yeah.
I'm giving Qui-Gon the GOAT. Qui-Gon's goated.
Yeah.
He's just like Obi-Wan, but even wiser and better. And I wish, if he hadn't been killed, Anakin would not have turned to the dark side. I think that's pretty much fact. Like,
Qui-Gon is the only reason not the only reason probably, but like, he's the reason Duel of Fates has so much weight, because he could be the reason Anakin doesn't turn to the dark side.
Yeah, his death is a big tragedy.
He doesn't fully follow the Jedi. He isn't going to make Anakin fully detached from his
mother.
He
actually, he refused to join the council because, even though he's a master, because he disagreed with their kind of, like, ideals. Again, him and Plo are, like, even above Obi-Wan in terms of just being completely based and not taking the Jedi code too literally or too far or too strictly. They're like Luke post, you know, Return of the Jedi. They understand that, you know, attachment is not a bad thing, and they don't forbid it. It's fantastic. I wish we got more Qui-Gon. I wish we had more Qui-Gon. He was so cool.
Yeah, like, it would be cool to see him more as a Force Ghost.
We saw him as a Force Ghost in Clone Wars, which is good. Living Qui-Gon. I wouldn't mind if there was a Star Wars What If, so we could see him in, like, the original trilogy of Clone Wars alive. Like, What If worked well for Marvel.
What If for Star Wars is way more interesting than Marvel.
Right? I mean, well, yeah, I guess. Because again, there's just so many possibilities, and it's like, it means you can be more creative without having to restrict yourself to, oh, well, canonically this happens, we can't have that. It's like, you don't have to worry about canon. Screw canon. Fuck canon. Lore does not matter. Just tell a good story. Yeah. There was something I've forgotten to say, and it's going to bother me. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's move on. Shmi Skywalker.
Yeah.
I would say great.
She's great, great, I'd say.
Like, she doesn't have a lot of screen time or things to do.
Because of her connection with Anakin.
Yeah, she is the crucial part of Anakin's development. She's symbolic, and literally his mum, so... Like,
in The Phantom Menace, her, like, connection with Anakin felt so, like, cute to watch.
Right, it was so genuine. And it was really, really wholesome and heartbreaking to see them separate. And then, like, how things ended up in Attack of the Clones. With her, you know, dead, and Anakin, like, you know, responding to this, obviously, with, like, you know, the rage of the dark side. It's just... fits fantastically into Anakin's story.
Yeah.
As a character herself, I don't have a lot to say about her, but I like, I don't know, I like that she kind of, you know, does question Qui-Gon, who is a figure of authority throughout the Phantom Menace. Like, Qui-Gon is, like, you know, unquestioned authority in all Phantom Menace, and like, she actually stands up to him, like, you know, puts her foot down on Anakin.
Yeah, I give her a great.
Good. It's really sad that he wasn't able to save her as well. Again, there's a good what if Qui-Gon was able to save Anakin and Shmi. Moving on, we have Watto. Watto's the reason that Shmi wasn't free. Friggin' Watto. I don't think I wouldn't give Watto. I mean, Watto's pretty funny. I love Watto. I think I'd give him amazing. I don't think I'd give him legendary.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so iconic.
He's just a great, again, like, you know, slimy businessman. Not like, New Gunray, but just like a kind of, like, cunning and selfish kind of, like, dead-end street, not criminal, but, like, I mean, it's Tatooine. I don't know, I like the way his dynamic with Qui-Gon, he's like, no bod is worth 2 slaves, and he's like, credits, it's like, he's like, your Jedi mind tricks don't welcome me, your credits mean nothing, I can't do the voice, but yeah, Watto's great, he's just a good, character, like Jabba, like Kit Fisto, the droids. Alright, now we have Yoda. In both original trilogy and prequel trilogy.
I'm gonna assume this is both.
I'm gonna say legendary for both.
Yeah, legendary.
I like that he's this wise old grandmaster, great role to have, someone who's leading the entire Jedi Order. In the movies, he's always, in all of his appearances, a guiding force. He trains Luke, he teaches Luke, and he, tries to mentor Anakin a bit, and he doesn't succeed, obviously. He's a flawed character. He is, too invested in his ways and, too, like, rigid in the Jedi Code. But I love that we see his, weaknesses and his failures and his frailties in Revenge of the Sith, with his fight against Sidious, and most importantly in Clone Wars. We actually do see his character arc develop into,
yeah, to be honest, when I looked at Clone Wars, that was the Yoda I expected in the prequels.
Yeah.
Yoda in, like, the prequels felt a bit more like a warrior, but...
Yeah.
Still Yoda.
I like that he actually knows Order 66 is coming. He doesn't know the details, but he knows some terrible thing is coming, and he's going to wipe out the Jedi. And he just lets it happen because he knows it's the will of the Force, and it's like, what has to be done. It's really sad. But yeah, it's a great dynamic with, like, Obi-Wan and Anakin as well, and he even appeared in Rebels, although his model was fuck ugly for some reason. Oh yeah, he appeared in the sequels, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, I remember that scene. Like, I remember, like, seeing it in my YouTube recommended.
Yeah. But, he's legendary. Yoda is a legendary character. I think he's
for sure.
Fantastic. He's a real source of stability, but also he has his own trials and troubles that he overcomes. A really good character. I should probably put him in the GOAT category, to be honest. I think he's a GOAT.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to not say Yoda's a GOAT. If that's all we have to say.
I
Bail
don't have much
Organa.
to add to this character.
Yeah, Bail Organa is Leia's surrogate father, who we see in... I think he's introduced in Attack of the Clones, but primarily I remember from Revenge of the Sith. He basically helps the Jedi. He's one of the few, Senate politicians who actually wants to protect the Jedi. He hides Obi-Wan, he stops him from getting, killed and, caught by the Empire. The new Empire. He's also in Clone Wars a bit with Padme. As a Force for good. He's great in my opinion. He's great.
Yeah.
I think he's just a good guy. He's just an overall good guy, and he helps the plot progress. I don't have a lot to say about him, but I think he's good. Great, even.
Yeah. I completely forgot who this guy is.
This is Dexter. You remember Dexter's Diner in Attack of the Clones? This is Obi-Wan's friend.
Oh, never mind.
Who tracks the poison ship from Kamino. Cloners! Kamino. Yeah, he's good. I like this guy. He only has like one scene. He's basically a tertiary character, but I'm gonna give him the great rank again because he's just... You can tell he's got this great dynamic with Obi-Wan. He's friendly. He's likable. He doesn't really appear anywhere else. He wasn't even in Clone Wars as far as I know, but he's cool. He's just cool. It's simple as.
I'm only gonna put him in good because other than the dynamic and all that, he doesn't show up, like, I don't think, any time afterwards. It's just not enough.
I can't think of a time he's reappeared. He's like the Mendo of FNAF world, He's like, he is great, but he didn't ever get reappearances. And I know it looks like you spam chat, Livy, but that's just because you're the only person here. And hey, that's okay. Not all streams are going to be that popular. And speaking of popular, Poggle the Lesser is next. We've only got 2 more characters from the Separatist Council. We got Poggle the Lesser and Wat Tambor. What? His name is Wat. W-A-T.
This guy was in Clone Wars, right?
They were both in Clone Wars as well, and they were fleshed out a bit more. Poggle is just kind of like a sneaky Geonosian part of the Separatist Council. I'd give him, like, good. There's really not a lot to say about him. But I do like, you know, that he's, kind of, there's a vocal voice, you know, on the Separatist Council with Dooku and stuff, and he helps produce the droids. He's just there for plot reasons, really, but he's alright.
Yeah.
Wat Tambor, on the other hand, I don't know.
Yeah.
In Clone Wars, we got to see more of him, but his personality is just kind of like arrogant scientist, so it's kind of meh.
Oh, wait. I completely forgot who this guy was.
Yeah, he's just this arrogant scientist who does, like, fucked up experiments in his lab. He was the one who had Echo for, like, half the Clone Wars on the moon. And
I guess I'll rank him.
He's the representative of the Techno Union who provided the B2 super battle droids. I'm such a Star Wars nerd. I have way too much knowledge. I'm gonna give him good because on the one hand he's great.
I'm gonna put him there.
Yeah, because he was developed more in Clone Wars, but also his personality is just kind of hit and miss. So I'm gonna give him good. And with all of that out of the way,
just because I don't remember him at all.
That's fair. He's not particularly memorable. With that out of the way, guys, I think we're all done. Listen, we don't have time unless you want us to rush this, which I don't think we should do. So, you know, I'm gonna leave this for now.
Isn't Shaak Ti part of this tier list?
Oh yeah, where's Shaak Ti? Oh, that was Clone Wars. Shaak Ti's in Clone Wars for me. Some of them are in Clone Wars, even though she appeared. You know, I'm just picking them based on the images, you know. So there's a lot more to talk about. I think actually it might be worth doing Clone Wars before we do sequels. Because it just fits a lot more. If we do Clone Wars and then Rebels and then sequels, maybe. I don't know.
This is gonna be fun when we get to that.
Yeah, but I could do Clone Wars, Rebels, Rogue One, and Bad Batch and Mando with confidence now. But we're gonna go, guys. I don't want to do too much of this without Swim. This has already taken a lot of time. There's so much to talk about. I don't know when. I'm going to give it time, because there's actually a lot of characters here, and really thinking about it, you know, if we had some time for all of us to catch up with the media, for, you know, George to watch Bad Batch, for Swim to, you know, check out Rebels or whatever, you know, for me to play Fallen Order, maybe I could actually include some of these.
Fallen Order is based.
Or, like, you know, Solo. I think all of these are Fallen Order and Solo. I think that's all I'm missing.
Solo's alright.
Yeah. I might watch those in the meantime, come back to this in a few months. And probably in 3 parts. I think you're right. I think in 3 parts, we'll do, like, Clone Wars, Rebels, and the sequel trilogy next, and then we'll finish off with Rogue One and the video games and stuff. We'll see how this goes. So, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
If you have enjoyed, like, share, subscribe. Support means a lot. Go check out George. Go check out Swim. George, is there anything you want to say before we end the stream?
Star Wars.
I'm gonna put some of your videos when I watch later. Like,
I don't
care if I'm not even really watching your videos. I want to support the man. So, hey, he beat Impossible Mode. That would actually be good for me to watch. That's something I haven't done yet. It takes guts. I think I actually watched that one. Yeah. But yeah, check them out, guys. Swim as well. Link to the description. They've both got YouTube channels. You can also check out the Jedi Temple Discord server, where if you're interested in engaging with more Star Wars, we'll be down there chatting, memeing, having a good old time. The tier list is there if you want to have a go at it, for yourself. And you know, both these guys are also on the Hydration Nation, so join the Hydration Nation if you want to actually talk to them. You know, my Discord server is the perfect place to, you know, get involved with actually, you know, meeting collaborators, you know, collaborating yourself. Getting notifications from my streams that are, you know, 100% reliable, come from my hand without, you know, YouTube shenanigans. I think that's really everything, other than the QOTD, but don't worry, Livy, you win by default, because you were the only one, I think, who gave one, and it was a pretty good answer about, it was one of the LEGO Star Wars games, I think. So yeah, guys, go check out Livy, as I said. She won the QOTD, as I kind of suspected she would, so that shout-out was earned. She'll be linked below with Crisis, which is a, you know, homelessness prevention charity, based in the UK. It's all there. So yeah, we're gonna come back to this. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know when, but we will. But that for now is my ranking of some of the Star Wars characters from the original 6 movies, you know, in George Lucas's vision. Absolutely fantastic stuff. No one is in terrible yet. Not a single terrible character. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah.
Oh, that's gonna change soon.
It's gonna change. It's gonna change. But yeah. May the force be with you. Very good, Livy. Very good. But yeah. Just catch up with chat. Yeah, I think that's everything. That's everything. So I'm gonna go. George, you can either leave the call now, or you can stick around in the outro and do your own thing while the music fades out, like we sometimes do, you know, for a smidge of trolling.
I think I'm gonna leave call now. I got some stuff to do, but
yeah,
that was really fun.
Anyways, I'll say it again, and this goes out to Swim as well if you're seeing this. It was a pleasure having you on. I really think we should do more collabs because we clearly have a lot in common, and there's so many streams where, even if it's not a game we have in common, so many debate directs where we could have a chat. If I ever do more Fazbear Fright stuff, I'm definitely inviting you because you're one of the guys for that. But yeah, we're gonna go. So George, I'll see you around. Thanks for being a good sport, and until the next time, bye bye. Ah shit, I thought he was finished talking. That's all right. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Check the links in the description. And, yeah, that's everything. That's everything. Why are you still here? Why are you still watching? Why are you still watching? There's nothing left. It's over. Anyway. Stay hydrated. Dun 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 dun.